Monday Night Football series concludes the 1974 season in Oakland, California on the final Saturday of the regular season. It's the Oakland Raiders with the best record in the NFL and the champions of the AFC's Western Division against perhaps the hottest team in the league, the Dallas Cowboys, winners of 7 of their last 8 games.
We've got a sold-out house here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, notwithstanding damp, penetrating, misty weather conditions. Hello again, everyone. I'm Howard Cosell. Welcome to our first adventure into Saturday Night Football right here on ABC. And we hope to have a good game tonight. We admit that one team, the Dallas Cowboys, is looking forward to next season. The other team, the Oakland Raiders, is looking forward to next Saturday in a playoff game against the Super Bowl champion Miami Dolphins. Nonetheless, as Frank Gifford suggested, the Cowboys are the hottest team in football. They are, in fact, a team of pride, and that's not just words. And so is their coach, Tom Landry. The Raiders, with the best record in the National Football League, want to awaken themselves from a lethargy that has beset them in recent games or ever since they clinched their divisional title. Quickly, let's look at the coaches. For the Raiders, John Madden, with a superb coaching record ever since he succeeded Al Davis. Strangely, his name never appears in the headlines, or almost never, but this is a man who has molded this team. Nobody else but John Madden. And, of course, Tom Landry, the great veteran coach. For the first time in 9 seasons, he'll be out of the playoffs, but he wants to end this season a winner, making it 8 of 9 and leaving people to conjecture with the notion that perhaps the Cowboys should have been in the playoffs. Now, to get to specifics, let's bring in the Blythe Spirit, Alex Garris. And, Alex, where did you get that jacket?
Well, it's a foggy night in Oakland town.
I wish you could sing. I really do. Well, all right, Alex, let's get to the specifics. What do you think? Think we're going to have a good game tonight?
Well, we should see a good game tonight. You know, Dallas is not going to be in the playoffs, but they're a good ball club, a proud ball club, and they have some young ball players that want to prove themselves to their coaches. And as far as Oakland is concerned, they can't let it take a duffer tonight. There's no question about it in my mind, because they have to gather a little momentum to play Miami. It's a tough ball club. They play them right here, and they want to gather a little momentum, and they want to stay with what they consider staying straight for this game that's coming up. It's a big game for them, so I don't think you're going to see either team taking a duffer tonight.
Of course, tonight you'll be watching your favorite ball player of all time.
Oh, I love that guy. And we're going to talk a little bit about him later on the show.
Number 60, Otis Sistrunk. That's the guy. Let's turn to the offenses and let's bring in the Giffer. Frank?
Thank you, Howard. And Alex, just let me say quickly how much I've enjoyed this year. And you think I wear cheap clothes, Alex?
Fur collar, that's mink.
Offensively,
that's right.
We have the number 1 offensive team in the National Football Conference, the Dallas Cowboys. They're not in the playoffs, but believe it or not, they have gained more yards than the Oakland Raiders in both running and passing. The Oakland Raiders are the number 1 offensive team in the American Football Conference. So we'll have a good football game tonight. 2 quarterbacks. Roger Staubach provides a lot of action. And, of course, Kenny Stabler has thrown 24 touchdown passes. It should be a terrific football game, and even though the Cowboys are out of it, look for them to do a lot of strange things. Oakland could do a lot of strange things because they know that Miami, the team that they will meet next Saturday right in this very field, will be watching. And we'll be back with the kickoff from Oakland, California, right after this.
Can you see by
The national anthem from Oakland says, sung by Marvin Gaye.
night what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight of the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red flames, the bombs bursting in their gate through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh,
fine rhythm and blues singers. Marvin Gaye gets the festivities underway from the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum as the Oakland Raiders, with the best record in pro football, 11-2. There they are with Coach John Madden. Take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, an 8-5 record, which belies really their strength power. They are a dynamite, explosive ball club.
They are, the Raiders are, but I said something at the very top of the program, Frank, and I said it because Cliff Harris, 43 of the Cowboys, came over to me, and he said, don't you think we should be in the playoffs? I said, you would have been, Cliff, if you had won enough games. He said, we're going to go out, winning 8 of our last 9. We want everybody in the country to know that the Cowboys should have been in the playoffs.
Okay, this is George Jakovenko, a first-year man out of Syracuse. He'll set it up. George Blanda, the regular placement kicker for the Oakland Raiders, at 46 years old, gets a breather. You're looking at number 37, going deep, Dennis Morgan, a dangerous kickoff return man. He is back there with number 30, Charlie Young. The Oakland Raiders, who will play the Miami Dolphins right on this field next week in a divisional playoff in the American Football Conference, get things underway. A squibbing kick taken at the 7-yard line by Dennis Morgan. And Morgan, upended hard, crawls forward to the 32-yard line, a return of 24 yards. Opening on offense for the Dallas Cowboys, Roger Staubach will be at quarterback. He's number 12. He teams there with Walt Garrison, number 32, and Calvin Hill, number 35. The wide receivers are 88, Drew Pearson, in a battle for the NFL lead in receptions. He has 58 coming into tonight. Golden Richards is the other wide receiver, and Billy Joe Dupree, the second-year man from Michigan State, is the tight end, number 89. First and 10 for the Cowboys from their own 32. Getting the call is Garrison, and Garrison battles up to the 35-yard line, and this is what has characterized this man for 9 years. The offensive line with which Garrison and Calvin Hill and the other Cowboy backs will work behind is a veteran one. Ralph Neely on the left side, 73. John Nyland, one guard, 76. At the center, 62. John Fitzgerald. Blaine Nye, right guard, 61. A great one at the right tackle, Rayfield Wright, number 70. It's second down and 7. Out quickly, it goes to Charlie Young as he replaces Garrison. And he gets the first down. He's out to the 46-yard line, hit there by Jack Tatum. Tatum playing in his first game over the past 3 weeks, and he'll be playing behind this defensive front four. At the left end, Bubba Smith, 77. Otis Smith-Strunk at the left tackle, number 60. Alex Harris's favorite defensive lineman.
Don't you ever mispronounce his name again, Frank.
Right tackle, Horace Jones at defensive right end. The linebackers, as you see them, a veteran in the middle, Dan Connors, 55. On the outside, 41, Phil Villapiano, 86, Gerald Irons, the other linebacker for Oakland. First and 10, the ball just short of the 45, and we're just underway from Oakland, California. Garrison back into the lineup. Gets the play action fake, and it goes out quickly to Garrison, and he has running room down the sideline. Garrison all the way down to the 25-yard line, and Roger Staubach hit that ball well to Garrison. Found him in the flat, and the Cowboys are threatening a 30-yard pickup. We'll see a lot of alternating players tonight. The Cowboys using a lot of their backs. Charlie Young will be in there for them, number 30. Robert Newhouse, number 44. The defensive secondary for the Oakland Raiders will be Skip Thomas at one cornerback. He's number 26. Nehemiah Wilson, number 48 at the other corner. Jack Tatum, having returned after missing 3 weeks, will be at the free safety, number 32. George Atkinson, the strong safety. On first and 10 for the Cowboys. We're at the 25 of Oakland. Calvin Hill, the big fullback, in a big hole over the left side, and he gets about 8 yards. And Howard, this is what was the concern of many of the Oakland Raider fans. They have a great offensive team, but they are weak against the run. They are ninth in their conference, and the Cowboys are, of course, are first in rushing. And what is concerning Oakland fans, Al Davis, when we talked to him last night, was that the Cowboys would be able to keep the ball all night.
That's exactly true, and of course they are naturally looking forward to next week, and they know they've got the problem of Big Zonk, the problem of Mercury Morris, and the problem of Jimmy Kick. Meanwhile, as I said, the Cowboys want to prove something.
From the Raiders, 17. Second down and 2. Again, the play fake by Staubach. And again, going to Garrison. Garrison bobbles the ball into the end zone. Drew Pearson. Good way to get it. Drew Pearson was Johnny on the spot, as he has been all year. Cowboys marching right downfield. You saw Garrison fumble into the end zone. Drew Pearson was having a great year, and this is second year out of Tulsa. 58 receptions, but he was there to fall on it.
In fact, they went 67 yards in 5 plays, consuming 3 minutes and 7 seconds. They look back upon their season, the Cowboys do, and they remember certain games and certain key plays, and they think of what might have been.
Efren Herrera from UCLA, the rookie, converts for Dallas. And the Dallas Cowboys have struck suddenly. They lead the Oakland Raiders 7-0. Mixing the pass, the play-action pass with the running plays, the Cowboys march right down the field.
Well, you know, the Cowboys are certainly loose tonight. They're not going to go anywhere the rest of the season, but they're going out there. They want to show the Raiders are a good ball club. And sometimes, you know, Howard, when you're out of it, and I should know because I was out of it lots of times with the Lions, you go out there and you have a lot of fun, and oddly enough, you play real good football.
Take a look at it again if we can. There's Staubach. He's made a great play fake to this man, Garrison, who found the open spot, and they used this play twice. A moment ago, they went 30 yards on the other side, so they found something definitely in the Oakland defense that they are not covering this man. Pearson here is being picked up by Skip Thomas. You see that typical man-for-man coverage for Oakland. Eyes on the receiver. There's the fumble. Pearson in the end zone. Cowboys ahead 7-0. All right. Efren Herrera has the ball set up. Deep is Ron Smith. He's the all-time NFL leader for yardage on returns. He's number 27. Harold Hart is back there. He's number 34. Bobbling kick taken down there by... Well, let's identify our receiver as we unpile. Banaszak. Pete Banaszak was there. A 14-yard return.
Well, let's see now if Oakland can strike back quickly. They're at a time of the season like this, when the Cowboys are out of it. There are individual battles going on down in that field and individual things to prove. Gene Upshaw, the great offensive pulling guard, 63, wants to prove something tonight. We'll develop that.
From the 32-yard line, the Oakland Raiders move over to the left side, and Marv Hubbard is the man who's carrying it. Offensive line, a veteran one for the Oakland Raiders. Art Shell on the left side, Gene Upshaw, 63. And playing in his 210th consecutive game, starting his 210th game, Jim Otto at center. George Beeler at right guard. Henry Lawrence, the rookie from Florida A&M, is the right tackle. Second down and 8, the ball resting just short of the 35-yard line. Hubbard again, pounding the right side and running into all kinds of problems over there. Bounces off several defensive Cowboys, and Pat Toomey finally is there to make the stop. There they are, the front four for the Cowboys that will alternate tonight, but beginning the action will be Larry Cole, 63, Jethro Pooh, 75. Bill Gregory and Bob Lilly will alternate at the right tackle. As you see, Lilly was the starter, and Pat Toomey as the defensive right end. And into the lineup now comes Bill Gregory, number 77, and Ed Too Tall Jones, number 72, along with 79, Harvey Martin. They'll be shuffling all night, and Ed Jones and Martin come in on the passing situation, is what we have at 36. Stabler goes to Cliff Branch, and Branch makes his 58th reception of the year. He's tied with the Cowboys' Drew Pearson. And a first down for Oakland at the 43-yard line.
And Mel Renfro, the veteran, whom some feel has gone downhill rather radically, was playing way off Cliff Branch, as you saw on the play. There's Cliff, brilliant receiver out of Colorado. In the meantime, I mentioned Gene Upshaw. He's burned up. He came over and told me I meant what I said in that UPI story, only they didn't say it strong enough. I blame the juice, O.J. Simpson, for making McKenzie all-conference over me, and I'm going to show them.
On 1st and 10, the Cowboys 44. Stabler to the air again. Cannot find a receiver. Now he dumps it short to Branch, and Renfro again giving him plenty of room. And in defense of Mel Renfro, he's been playing on an injured ankle. He was out for several weeks, came back last week against Cleveland. He had to because the Cowboys only have 5 defensive backs. There he is.
And we just showed you a picture, Frank, of Art Toms on the sidelines. He wasn't wearing a girdle. That wasn't a girdle he had on. He had some bad ribs, and they were protecting his ribs. For you girls out there, I thought maybe you didn't know that.
All right, 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 44. There he is, Kenny Stabler, having a tremendous year. 24 touchdown passes. Hands off to Clarence Davis. Davis pecks away for a yard or 2 on the left side. Stabler will find himself in a passing situation. That was Marv Hubbard, brother, number 44. Marv Hubbard also having another fine year. 838 yards coming into tonight. Over the past 2 years, each of the previous 2 years, he's gone over 1,000 yards. All right, Hubbard comes to the bench. And Pete Banaszak is in there along with Clarence Davis in the passing situation on a 3rd down and 8. Stabler with lots of time. Biletnikoff wide open. Biletnikoff works himself into the zone, down the open area, and Stabler really drilled it.
All right, we'll have another look at this. And this is a virtual replay of a scene you've seen so many times throughout the season. Clutch situation. Somehow, that great veteran from Florida State is always loose. There you saw him avoid a chuck, and the first defender went down. And Stabler threading the needle with the pass. Stabler, his release is so easy, Alex.
He sure is. He's a fine ball player. And, of course, he goes to Biletnikoff in those crucial situations.
We told you they were 2 offensively minded teams, and that's exactly what they are. The Cowboys leading 7-0 on their first drive. And getting the call around the left side, Clarence Davis. Hit there by Jethro Pugh.
I must say, Alex, the Cowboys are stopping the run. There he is.
And he found out you mispronounced his name, too, Frank. He's very hot about it. Very hot.
Incidentally, we've all been invited to his fraternity reunion on the planet of Mars at the university campus up there. Let's watch number 63, Gene Upshaw.
Whoa.
He gave him a good belt, I'll tell you.
2nd down and 11, a loss of 1. Davis gets the draw call. Finds a little hole, gets 3 yards. Perhaps it'll be 3rd down, the passing situation again for Stabler. 3rd down and 8. The ball at the just short of the 17-yard line as John Madden looks on. 5 divisional titles in his 6 years as head coach.
Not too bad, Giff.
Indeed.
The night of our first game this year, Oakland at Buffalo. I remember Rune Arledge saying to him, boy, we've got some matchup for our final game. Significant game in the standings. And Madden said, by the time we play Dallas, it won't matter in the standings.
Stabler has converted on the 2 previous 3rd down attempts. He goes to the air again. And again, forced out of the pocket, goes to Branch. He comes back for it. He will be short of the 1st down. He had to come back. And it'll be 4th down, and the ancient one will trot onto the field. Of course, to refer to the venerable old 46-year-old George Bland in his 25th year, and still an excellent athlete.
46 years old. Isn't that something?
I wonder what he thinks of bet check.
He likes it. Remember we did that opening game interview with him? He really does.
All right, the attempt from 31 yards. Just routine for George Blanda. So the Raiders trail the Dallas Cowboys 7-3, and we'll be back after this. 7:19 remaining in the first quarter. The Raiders have shortened their score to the Dallas Cowboys to 7-3. Dan Cavinto kicks off, and it's Dennis Morgan. Morgan finds a little hole to the outside, quickly covered there by Raiders. Moving out to the 38-yard line.
40 people
by Monty Johnson. 31-yard return for Dennis Morgan, a rookie from Western Illinois.
And a good rookie who's broken a number this year in his kick runs. Hey, there's Jim Garner, Alex, together with the ancient one, as Frank called him, George Blanda. That's right. Say hello to his fellas. Hello, Jimmy. Star of his own series, The Rockford Files, remembered forevermore in television as Maverick. Good guy.
Good-looking devil.
Dallas, in the final game of the season, will begin their drive on the 37-yard line. Calvin Hill sprawls forward, and Calvin Hill sometimes looks like he's gaining a yard or two, but by the time he completes the ball, he usually tacks on a couple more, and this time he gets 7. With a second down, a long 3, the ball just short of the 44.
Number 35, out of Yale University. And what a player he's been. He's gained over 800 yards this year, despite the fact that he's missed 4.5 games. That takes some doing.
On the second down, Bill Houston comes in, number 86. He's in the stacked backfield. This is Houston, a rookie from Jackson State. The toss goes out to Robert Newhouse. And Newhouse gets a couple of yards, short of the first down, however, hit by Phil Villapiano, number 41.
Bob Hubbard, whom Frank has already told you about, with 2 consecutive Bedlam 1,000 years. In terms of yards, not in terms of age. Who once played for the Hartford Charteros.
He's really stuck with it, Howard. He was cut right here in Oakland back in '69, went back and played in the minor leagues and came back and has really turned into one of the great all-pros.
Well, he reminds me of Jim Taylor the way he runs. You know, he breaks those tackles, gets that 4 and 5 yards.
Strong.
Bigger than Jimmy, though.
On the 3rd and 1. And getting the call is Charlie Young. Big hole, first down. The Cowboys moving. Moving on the ground.
Fans haven't seen a lot of Charlie Young. He's a high draft choice, as we said, from North Carolina State. And he's being carefully prepared by Landry. One of the Cowboys is injured down on the field. And it's John Fitzgerald, the center. He's the guy who opened the hole for Charlie there. Number 62.
Gain of 8 by another 12 yards by Charlie Young. Another Cowboy first down as John Fitzgerald is being admonished to 2. Tom Landry looking on. And we'll be back in Oakland right after this message.
Now here's a replay of that injury to center John Fitzgerald. He opened the hole for his teammate Charlie Young and paid the price for doing so. Look there. Kicked right in the head by the left knee of Charlie Young as Charlie proceeded onward for a 12-yard gain.
And so many times that happens, Howard. In fact, I almost ended my career like that. My own ball player knocked my knees off from under me, and that was it. There's a perfect example. Sometimes your own ball players will do it to you.
John Fitzgerald, however, walked off the field under his own power, and hopefully he'll be able to return, and certainly we hope he's all right. Cowboys have a 1st and 10. They're on the 43-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. They lead 7-3. Play action fake again by Staubach. Going deep for Richards, and it will be picked off. As a flag goes down, Atkinson picked it off. Another Nehemiah Wilson picked it off, but a flag is down at the 5-yard line. Nehemiah Wilson.
This will be called on number 32, Jack Tatum, the strong safety out of Ohio State. No question about it. And if we can get it in replay, you'll see exactly how it happened.
There's the call. Jack Tatum again returning to action after 3 weeks. Has to be a little rusty. He's wearing number 32.
Now it's not here. Did you see Tatum come up behind there?
Well, you saw Richards sprawl forward, and Tatum had given him a pretty good
Tatum had given him the shot.
In any event, the Cowboys have a 1st and goal on the Oakland Raiders 5-yard line. 4:50 remaining in the first quarter. They lead 7-3.
Apart from that penalty call, and a very damaging one, there's Fitzgerald still seeking to get his wits together after the blow in the head from his teammate Charlie Young. Significantly, Dallas has been able to stop Oakland's ground game thus far. Oakland has not been able to stop Dallas's ground game. As I said, with the exception of that penalty, it's the ground game of Dallas that's dominated.
On the first down, Newhouse crawling forward to about the 2-yard line there.
You know, there's no real reason why Oakland's defensive line isn't that good against the rushing game, because they're a big bunch of guys and they're pretty fast. Although I wouldn't say Tom's is the biggest, but I think that they move good and they have good linebackers. I don't know what the problem is, other than the fact that I think some of the teams that play against them like to run it on the ground to keep control so that their offense doesn't get the shot at them every 3 minutes.
Newhouse moves it inside the 2. You see the Raiders in their goal line defense. Back, bobbled the ball. It's floating around. Jack Tatum, I believe, has it. And Jack Tatum, who was called for that pass interference, turns it around. The ball was bouncing off the shoulders of first the Cowboys and then the Raiders, and Jack Tatum, the ever alert, Tatum was there to pick it up.
Yeah,
there it is.
He never got the ball at all.
Blaine Nye hit it. The pulling guard. Staubach is totally lost. And here comes Tatum.
He really made up for it.
Tatum takes it out to the 16-yard line. For the Raiders with a big break. Hubbard, at the very least, a possible field goal. This is Marv Hubbard. And Hubbard, it's maybe a yard and a half before he's drilled.
But an early pattern, it seems to me, is formed here. Naturally, Oakland wants to get its ground game going to complement the pass. In its drive down toward its field goal in 9 plays that took 4 minutes and 34 seconds, they finally had to settle for a field goal because they used 2 rushing plays that went nowhere before going for a 3rd down pass.
This is Clarence Davis. And Davis finds the going just as rough as Hubbard. There's Jack Tatum on the sidelines. Jack Tatum, the Ohio State All-American of 4 years ago.
Well, he's a key figure in their defensive backs, and he's the guy that makes all the tackles for them, and he's been out 3 weeks, and Oliver Spencer, assistant coach over there with the Raiders, says he's very happy to have him back.
3rd down now and 8. Out to the left comes Cliff Branch. He'll be covered very delicately by Mel Renfro. Out to the right, Bolitnikoff. And Stabler is back and in trouble. And Stabler's down. The big rush was on. Jethro Pugh was there, 75. Harvey Martin, 79. He leads the Cowboys in sacks. He got another one. That's his 10th of the year.
That was great, Frank. Stabler's back, in trouble, and Stabler's down. Ali moves quickly to the neutral corner.
That's 4th down. Ray Guy will punt for Oakland. Chief will be Cliff Harris and Dennis Morgan. Morgan, the lone safety. And there is the predicament of Ray Guy, the leading punter in the AFC. Averaging a little over 41 yards. Uh-oh, he fouled the ball. He'll go down, safety. Out of the end zone, safety. And a near possible touchdown for Dallas. Cal Peterson, number 58, was the man that stormed in there, but Ray Guy just bobbled that ball. You'll see, he never completely had the ball. He bobbles it there. Here comes Peterson. He's number 58, and if he could have got on that ball, he would have had 6 instead of 2. There it is again. Ray Guy, who's a fine athlete, and he will not often make this kind of mistake. We'll be back in Oakland right after this message. Well, Howard obviously came to the stadium early.
Yeah, we've read that enough times. Incredible, the misinformation that can be parceled out. Let's have the kick, Frank, from Mr. Ray Guy.
The man who gave up the 2 points for Oakland. They trailed the Dallas Cowboys 9-3, 2:20 remaining in the first quarter. Deep is Dennis Morgan, number 37. The guy, not a good kick, as Cliff Harris takes it his own 37. And Harris gets almost back to midfield. They'll mark it at the 48. A 14-yard return hit there by Mike Dennery.
Incidentally, a reminder to the viewers that ABC Sports will present a revealing portrait of O.J. Simpson, Juice on the Loose, Saturday, December 28th. The special will go beyond the world of football. It'll give insights into the lifestyle of a man who is complex as he is likable. It's his 5th pro season with the Buffalo Bills, a Heisman Trophy winner at USC. Last season, you all know about the record of over 2,000 yards. Saturday the 28th. Yep.
On 1st and 10, Staubach with both backs out of the backfield, looking for Young, and Young, the rookie from North Carolina State, the Cowboys' second first-round pick this year, does not hold on to the ball, but he has been performing very well for the Cowboys late in the season.
Just to point out what we were saying earlier, in 7 carries on the ground, Dallas has gained 45 yards. I mentioned earlier, Oakland with 7 carries has gained 10 yards. That's been the differential, plus some shabby play by the Raiders, as evidenced by that fumble by Guy in the end zone that led to an unexpected safety for Dallas.
Roger Staubach in his 6th year. On 2nd down and 10, the ball just short of the 48. Pearson in motion. Toss goes out to the big one, Calvin Hill. Big hole, he has another first down, he's down to the 40. 11-yard game.
All right, here's the play that you just seen, and I'll tell you, they're really blocking real good up front. There's no question about it. And the only thing I can't understand is that Oakland's linebackers, who I think are very good, they just absolutely wiped out right now. And
exactly the point.
They're not playing for that run at all. It seems like they're really backing off the line of scrimmage.
Gerald Irons had to come all the way across to make this play.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, if I could point out, too, they are dealing against a team that has made more yards on the ground than any other team in the NFL, so it's not all the defensive play.
It's also a team that lost to the Giants 14-6.
On 1st and 10, Newhouse turns the corner, gets 4 yards.
Did you hear that comment that Howard made, Frank?
He preferred
I get one a week.
No, I said Dallas' season has been most peculiar. We had them the second Monday night game of the year. And last night, Tex Schramm, who runs the Cowboys, was hearkening back to that Philadelphia Monday night game when Doug Dennison, a rookie, number 21, was going in for a Dallas touchdown. Fumbled it. Joe Lavender of the Eagles, number 30, picked it up, ran almost 100 yards for a touchdown. And Philadelphia won that game. Key game of the season, perhaps.
2nd down and 6 from the 37, and down goes Young. And getting quickly in there was Gerald Irons. That'll be a loss of a couple of yards.
All right, here's Gerald Irons, and he does a good job this time. Gerald gets down and analyzes the play pretty good. He's really keen a little bit on this guy, I think. He comes in, does a good job, puts his head right in the hole, knocks him down. He's a pretty good ball player, Howard.
He beat the block of number 51, Dave Manders, who replaced John Fitzgerald as center, but we've been told that John Fitzgerald will be back in the ball game, not seriously hurt. All right, it's 3rd down and 9, a loss of 2. Ball resting just over the 40-yard line. Bob Hayes is in there, number 22, along with Golden Richards, number 83, and they will not get the playoff. That's the end of the first quarter with the Dallas Cowboys out in front of the Oakland Raiders, 9-3. Will be Pinocchio after this. Back in Oakland, California, Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell, Alex Karras. The Dallas Cowboys out in front of the Oakland Raiders, 9-3 as we begin the second quarter. The ball just inside the 40-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. And Dallas showing a lot of offense in the early going. Staubach. Firing intended for Hayes and almost picked off. Almost picked off by Villapiano, number 41.
Bill had that play cased absolutely perfectly. I wonder if during the course of this game, Frank will get a chance to see number 19, Clint Longley from Abilene Christian, the man who perpetrated the miracle of Thanksgiving Day when he brought Dallas from a 23-10 deficit to, in the final seconds, a 24-23 victory.
Well, hopefully, because he really captured the imagination of the country. Right now, we're going to look at Dwayne Carroll. He's had an interesting season. He began with the Jacksonville Sharks. Had a good year. Dallas was in trouble. Picked him up, and now he's punting for Dallas. He's angling for the sidelines. Ron Smith. Smith breaks it. Oh, look at that. Ron Smith run down by Charlie Young, and Smith all the way down to the 32-yard line. Ron Smith, the man who holds an NFL record for punt and kickoff returns of over 8,000 yards, does it again. And he's been around 10 years, Howard, but he still has the moves.
And he really used his blockers beautifully on this run. Give Charlie Young credit for that pursuit. In the meantime, Oakland's got field position. First down on the Cowboys 36. Let's see if they're thinking about Miami or if they can get some kind of ground game generated.
53-yard return. Flags fly as Stabler goes out on the flat. Complete out there to his tight end, Bob Moore. The flags are down at the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
Offsides, ruled against Oakland.
Offensive line jumped a little too.
And again, we've been discussing it in the booth, and perhaps Oakland, well, they couldn't be blamed with an 11-2 record, looking forward to their nemesis over the past few years, the Miami Dolphins, and they play here next week. Dolphins, of course, the champions of the Eastern Division of the AFC. I'm sure that head coach Don Shula certainly should be congratulated for overcoming a lot of problems with that team this year, along with some great performers who they're watching this evening. Art Shell was a guilty culprit for the Oakland Raiders of being offside, nullifying that game. First down and 15, the ball goes to Marv Hubbard. Hubbard gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Of course, you know, you talked about Al Davis doing things and a lot of ball players in especially the kind of situation. Here's Ron Smith, who does nothing but run that ball back now and does a good job.
Second down and 10. Ball just short of the 35-yard line. Blitnikoff goes out to the right. Out to the left, the speedster Cliff Branch. Stabler and number 79, Harvey Martin, gets his 11th sack of the year. And what a combination Harvey Martin, 79, and 72, Ed Too Tall Jones are. They come in on the sure pass, and look at him come.
Here's Harvey Martin coming in on the pass rush. He knows it's a pass. He's playing it all the way for the pass. He's doing a good job passing. There he slips the offensive tackle and gets down to him. Too Tall's right behind him. Here's big Too Tall doing his job. He's a very strong guy, and he's playing against a strong offensive tackle, and he does a good job. He gets a lot of penetration, and that really helps.
Hart beat the block of Lawrence. Jones up, that of Art Shell. Stabler again, going on third down. Intended for Bob Moore. Well covered. Stabler just getting rid of it. Cornell Green was back there.
That's a lovely youngster. As we looked at those replays featuring Martin and Too Tall Jones, I was reminded of our conversation last night, Frank, with Al Davis and Tex Schramm, the respective front office heads of the respective clubs. We're discussing the fact that 3 brilliant defensive linemen have come into the league this year. Too Tall, one of them, Dutton of Baltimore, another, and Barzalauskas of the Jets, a third. But Schramm truly believes that Jones has a chance to become one of the great defensive linemen of all time.
Great guy, and I believe Tex Schramm is dead right. Oh, and Guy hits a beauty. Just what you want. It's high. And they got to it. Getting down there quickly. So it depends on whether or not they will allow it. Now, ruled a touchback, but Bob Hudson was down there and almost saved it. Ruled a touchback and brought out to the 20. John Madden was disappointed.
I thought Bob Hudson did save it, and a teammate made a mistake. Didn't you, Alex?
The ball up and threw it back in the end zone for crying out loud.
We'll be back in Oakland right after this. A few moments ago, Bob Hudson racing downfield, touched the ball. At this point, into the end zone, a very close call, but I think a good one.
It was. Once he touched that white line, that was it.
Sharp eyes of our officials tonight here in Oakland. Cowboys begin from their own 20. Calvin Hill gets a couple of yards out to the 22-yard line, hit by Gerald Irons, number 86.
I don't think I've seen the Raiders this punchless. Oh, no. Last week they did little or nothing against Kansas City. It was their defense that brought them a 7-6 victory. Maybe they're looking to Miami, but they shouldn't be at this point. They should be seeking to reacquire some offensive momentum.
Well, absolutely, and if they don't, then they're going to have some problems next week, I'll tell you.
Second down and 8. Golden Richards to the left, 83. Drew Pearson out to the right. Now Pearson motioning for 2. And flags fly, and I believe it was Otis Sistrunk.
Yes, it was Otis.
Who, by the way, is having just a sensational year, number 60.
He's been all over the ball. Of course, again, Otis doesn't know staccato either, Frank, and this is what bothered him. That hut. And he went offside, no question about it. He may have been drawn off, folks.
That's the call, and he was drawn off.
I knew Otis was clever.
He's playing with a bad shoulder, too, Alex, and they move, what they do, you watch the Oakland Raiders, they move those interior linemen all over, and what they try and do is to get them against the weakest man they can on the offensive line, and they move Otis Sistrunk.
And he keeps saying, are you weak? Are you weak?
Sometimes I have a feeling they overdo that.
Rayfield Wright was the man guilty of drawing Sistrunk off. It's second down and 13. Calvin Hill pursued and hit by the 2 linebackers, Gerald Irons and Phil Villapiano.
Well, you have to wonder what that fella's been thinking about all year. He jumped to the World Football League, the Southern California Sun. He has to be dubious now about whether or not there will be a Southern California Sun. Once the starting quarterback, acquired by way of trade from Buffalo, and once a full-fledged star, but now an effective third stringer behind the newly developed backup quarterback, Larry Lawrence. Can't have been a happy season for Darryl Lamont. Just a sidelight portrait of what can happen to a guy in football.
What do they call him? The Mad Bomber.
Third down and 15. Drawback just short of his own 15-yard line. Going quickly out to Charlie Young. And Young upended by Gerald Irons, who has been in on a lot of defensive plays for Oakland.
Well, there's no question that Gerald Irons is doing a good job, and he's also keen, and that's what you have to do if you're a linebacker. You key on that back. Here comes the back out with a little flare pass, and he's right there to meet him. Nice play, Gerald.
I'll tell you, Tony Klein came in and decked Staubach like you wouldn't believe. Roger got rid of the ball just in time, and then Tony really, Derek.
All right, Dwayne Carroll was kicking for the second time tonight. He had the last one run down his throat by this man, Ron Smith. It's it off. It'll be run back again. This is Smith. And Smith drives forward to the 40-yard line, a 13-yard return of a 36-yard punt. We have 10 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the first half from Oakland, California, and Dallas leads the Oakland Raiders 9-3. Back in Oakland, California, the Oakland Raiders with the 1st and 10. They trail the Dallas Cowboys 9-3. They will begin action from just inside the 40-yard line of the Cowboys. Marv Hubbard, 44. Clarence Davis, 28 of the setbacks. And this is a good look at Kenny Stabler. And this is a good look at Marv Hubbard. And Hubbard rambles for a first down inside the 30 to the 28. Be with us tomorrow for a top ABC Sports Special, 1974 USGA highlights. Our host, Chris Schenkel, will be focusing on the top 1974 USGA competition with a special look at such prestigious events as the U.S. Open, the U.S. Women's Open, and the U.S. Men's Amateur. Also, Chris will return to Wingfoot Golf Club, the site of the 74 Open, for a retrospective look. That's tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern and Pacific, 11 Central. And here comes Clarence Davis. Davis on first down. Spinning and twisting down to the 11-yard line.
And suddenly the Oakland Raiders offensive line is moving them out. The defensive line you're looking at is perhaps the Dallas defensive front four of the future as we look again at Clarence Davis from Frank's revered USC. A fine running back. After a quarter and an additional 5 minutes, Oakland has suddenly come up with 2 first-down bursts
And
on
of course,
the ground.
excuse me, Howard, of course, if you're a young line, you're going to do this. Now, you saw Harvey Martin to go take a rounder on that time and look for the passing, and he didn't play the run at all. He just gave himself up, so to speak.
Hubbard on 1st and 10, and he gets maybe a yard. And that line that Howard spoke of is Harvey Martin, a second-year man. Jethro Pugh, he's been around a while, for 10 years, but he is his 31. Bill Gregory, 77. He's been around for 4 years. And Ed Too Tall Jones, 72 is Jones, 77 is Gregory, 75 is Pugh, Martin is 79.
There's 2 guys that are uglier than I am, Howard.
That's arguable.
Second down, the ball is on the 9-yard line. And Stabler going for Grant. Cliff Harris was there for the deflection. Kenny Stabler, second American Football Conference ratings behind Cincinnati's Kenny Anderson coming into tonight's play.
I think that throw would have been out of the end zone anyway, Frank. There's a guy who's thrown 24 touchdown passes, tops in the entire league, and he didn't play last week against Kansas City, which certainly accounted to a major degree for their total absence of offense against Kansas City.
Pete Banaszak, you saw him huddle with head coach John Madden, has come into the lineup, perhaps with a suggestion or an order to Kenny Stabler. It's 3rd down and 8. Ball at the 9, Stabler to the air. Did he get in bounds? He did.
Oh, what
Fred Biletnikoff. Fred Biletnikoff beating Charlie Waters, and that's not anything really to be embarrassed about because Biletnikoff has been doing it for 10 years.
You know, Willie Shoemaker, as you look at the glee of John Madden, has a phrase for certain jocks whom he considers underrated. Of course, this is the field of thoroughbred rate. He calls them sneaky, the way suddenly they go past him. Biletnikoff has been sneaky for so many years, I can't remember.
That's for sure.
Great receiver. And now George Blanda. Converts. And all of a sudden, the Oakland Raiders are out in front of the Dallas Cowboys 10-9. And we'll be back in Oakland, California, right after this message. With 8 minutes and 49 seconds remaining in the first half, the Oakland Raiders have taken the lead from the Dallas Cowboys 10-9. George Jacobenko will kick off as we look at some of the lovely sights here in Oakland.
George Jacobenko.
Out of Syracuse and well-traveled. With a lot of different teams. Deep, Dennis Morgan, 37. And he'll handle the ball at the 5. Morgan, fine return, gets out to the 34-yard line before he's hit by Gary Weaver. A few moments ago, this occurred. It was a great catch. Howard, Alex,
great
pass.
Great pass.
Watch Biletnikoff turn Waters around. And still Waters had good position. He was in the back of the end zone as the second defender, and it was just perfectly thrown and a great catch.
Of course, this happens so much. They go to Biletnikoff when they need him, you know. There's that beautiful catch.
I bet Waters can't believe it because he was perfectly positioned.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Dallas. Now, trailing by 1, they move from their own 34. Motion man, Robert Newhouse. Young gets the call, and a flag goes in the middle, as you saw, as Art Toms was there to make the stop.
This call is against Dallas for holding, as you see on your screen.
Grabbing the pant.
What's interesting is, getting back to the basics of the game, the last 2 series of downs that Dallas had the ball, suddenly they couldn't move it on the ground where they had been able to penetrate the Oakland defense easily in the early going. On the other side of the coin, as we mentioned, Oakland set up its touchdown pass that we just looked at in replay after 2 quick on-the-ground bursts for first downs, one by Marv Hubbard, one by Clarence Davis.
Fred Biletnikoff.
His face is a Pinocchio.
8:34 remaining in the first half. Tom Landry, the only coach the Cowboys have ever had, began back in 1960, looks on. Will miss the playoffs for the first time in 9 years. Drawback. Gets in as it releases to Billy Joe Dupree. Did he trap it or did he catch it? Yes, he catches it. First down. to the 38-yard line. The program is being brought to you as a special exclusive of ABC Sports. Right now, let's pause 5 seconds and allow our local stations to identify themselves. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell, Alex Karras. We've watched the Oakland Raiders come back. The Oakland Raiders headed for the playoffs next week against the Miami Dolphins right here in Oakland. Lead now 10-9. Quite an offensive showing here in the first half. On second down and 6, Staubach. Screen play to Newhouse. Flag goes down again. Flag down at the line of scrimmage as Newhouse is nailed as he returns to the line of scrimmage by Art Tom.
And again, the call is against the Dallas Cowboys. In the meantime, Monday Night Football will exist this coming Monday night in the form of the Liberty Bowl game in Memphis, Tennessee. You'll see it right here on ABC. The Terrapins of Maryland against the Volunteers of Tennessee. Tennessee with an exciting quarterback, a scrambling quarterback, a great athlete, Conridge Holloway. And Maryland, of course, with Outland Trophy winner Randy White, outstanding lineman in the country. That's what the Outland Trophy is for. Randy is one of the 4 nominees for the famed Lombardi Trophy to be tendered at the Vince Lombardi annual dinner in honor of the late great coach. That'll happen January 16th in Houston, Texas. The Terrapins of Maryland against the Volunteers of Tennessee this Monday night. Bud Wilkinson and Bear Bryant, the guest coaches.
The call against Dallas, an eligible receiver downfield, 15-yard penalty. They move now from their own 23. Ballback going out to Charlie Young. Young slips, tries to regain his feet, but there to capture him is Gerald Irons. Gain of about 4.
Jim Otto. Old reliable. That was what Mel Allen once called Tommy Henrik, and it could certainly be applied to that fellow, Jim Otto, right there.
You know, Howard, too, he started every one of those 210 games, not just played them. That's really amazing. There's a lot of things going on in the middle of that line. You run into a lot of Karrases and people like that.
Oh, well. Karras was in 5 Pro Bowl games. Incidentally, we'll be carrying the Pro Bowl game on a Monday night, January 20th, from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Gifford, on the other hand, played in 6 Pro Bowl games, was the MVP in the 59 one. He's one up on you, Alex.
Third down and 16. Oakland one up on Dallas, 10-9. And good defensive play out there by number 43, Nehemiah Wilson.
George Atkinson, Frank, if I may say.
Sorry, well, 43-48. George Atkinson with a good defensive maneuver. Take a look at Golden Richards. Drove the defender back as he should. The ball just a little slow, but good coverage by Atkinson. 4th down.
Well, now they're playing like the Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to wonder if this is to finally be the year for John Madden and Al Davis.
Dwayne Carroll will punt. Ron Smith, the single safety. Ron Smith fields at the 44. Big opening. And Ron Smith having quite a night. Hit there by Ken Hutcherson. Interesting wide world coming up this weekend. Let's take a look at some of the happenings. Just a moment ago, a Ken Stabler pass intended for Cliff Branch missed in the end zone. Back there covering was Mel Renfro.
Also, Cliff Branch slipped, I think. And did we make note of the fact that the grass is very slippery tonight, Frank, as we look at it again? Yeah, there's Cliff.
I believe so, but I think he might have had a little help slipping.
Yeah, he might have. True.
Mel Renfro playing on a bad ankle and covering one of the most deadly receivers in the game. Cliff Branch with 12 touchdown receptions. Now he comes out to get a little rest, and Frank Pitts, a 10-year veteran that's been around for a while, Kansas City and Cleveland. Now with Oakland, he's number 25. He's in the game. But this is Clarence Davis trying the middle of the Dallas line.
If you wonder how a guy like Frank Pitts winds up with Oakland, and this is like so many other shrewd Al Davis acquisitions. And I say, if you wonder why a guy like Frank Pitts, I say that because he's a player of obvious merit, seasoned, wise, and able. Well, he can get into trouble with his own club management. I suspect that because he was the player rep at Cleveland during the strike, this may have led to his departure from Cleveland.
3rd down and 5. Stabler. Blitnikoff with another great move on Charlie Waters. He turned Charlie Waters around again. And so far tonight, Blitnikoff owns Charlie Waters, who's not a bad defensive cornerback.
Forgive me for laughing, Frank, but it's funny the way he does it to him, isn't it, Alex?
Absolutely. Look at that.
Nice with him. It's ridiculous. And then the pass is right in there on the button.
Fred Blitnikoff, and he can really work over a defender. If you try and take him man for man, you're in a whole bunch of trouble.
Take the beard off, and there's a vague resemblance to Manny Fernandez, except that Fernandez's hair is dark and Freddie's is light.
5:39 remaining in the first half. Oakland leads 10-9. They have the first down at Dallas's 16-yard line. Marv Hubbard. And now Oakland is beginning to grind on the ground. Moving pretty much as they will, either through the air or the ground. Dave Edwards is in there. Drew Pearson recovered a Walt Garrison fumble to get the scoring underway this evening on the opening drive of the Cowboys. They led 7-0, and then George Bland hit on a 31-yard field goal to make it 7-3. Then there was a safety, and Dallas led 9-3. Then Fred Blitnikoff put Oakland ahead on a 9-yard touchdown pass from this man Stabler. And then Branch.
Well, that play was obviously mistimed, Frank.
Obviously, Branch just back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, I'll tell you, there's a bunch of yards, and they have come quickly with this man. He has recorded 6 9-1s while playing at the University of Colorado. Was the first high school sprinter in Texas to run a 9-3.
Notice how many of the Cliff Branch type are in the league. That's John Madden. Loosest guy I've ever seen as a coach. Hasn't he, Alex? Having fun before. Cliff Branch, Mel Gray, Terry Metcalf, the new NFL.
3rd down and 7. Stabler lofting it and almost picked off by Leroy Jordan. Stabler going for Clarence Davis, and Leroy Jordan, the 12-year veteran from Alabama, back there defending.
Okay, here's Harvey Martin could do one good thing so far as a young defensive lineman. That's rush a passer. You see how he shucked him there and then got to the quarterback. Real good job. Harvey Martin, 79. He's going to be a good one. He is a good one, I should say.
Here he is, George Bland, that trots out as a pass rush. His field goal attempt will be from 30 yards. And it's blocked. Blocked. And falling on the ball was Mel Renfro. Charlie Waters made a pass at it, missed. Mel Renfro went for it. And the Cowboys have turned back to a 3-point attempt by Oakland.
Well, in fairness to the Cowboys, as they trailed by only 1. 3 times in a row, Oakland began inside the 40. And only once did they connect. That was on the pass to Blitnikoff for the touchdown. The 2 other times, Oakland could not get the ball in or between the uprights for either a touchdown or a field goal.
4 minutes and 7 seconds remain. We'll get official word, but it did appear as if Ed Too Tall Jones, who stands 6'9", they put him in the middle. There he is, big 72. He did.
Yeah, he did.
He's 6'9". He blocks it. Cowboys will begin operation from their own 8-yard line. Newhouse. And a little 5'10" Newhouse finds a tiny hole, squirts ahead for about 3 yards.
Frank, I suspect that before this game is over, we're going to see some gimmickry from Landry, but also some new plays from John Madden for the Oakland Raiders. If only to, there's John, if only to steer Miami wrong if possible, because the Dolphins are certainly watching this game. Do you agree that's likely?
More than likely. They'd like to keep Miami looking at films this week. Of course, Miami will do the same thing tomorrow. 2nd down and 6. To Newhouse. Newhouse turning the corner. He gets out to the first down. Had good blockers out in front of it. 7-yard pickup of a little third-year man from Houston. Having a good year, over 473 yards coming into this game. Averaging over 4 yards. He isn't big, but he's really powerful. Gained almost 3,000 yards in his career at the University of Houston.
All right. Watch how Newhouse takes care of his offensive lineman. He tells him direction, puts his hand there on the midriff, and keeps moving.
Gets the first down, just short of the 20. Staubach back and looking. Going for Richards, and in and out of the hands of Skip Thomas. Skip Thomas had touchdown stripes running across his eyeballs because he might have been able to run down the sideline for the score. And he's unhappy.
And Frank was ready to hear the Trojan victory song again because, of course, Skip Thomas went to USC.
Yes, he did. And he was a fine All-American defensive player there.
He really had that.
Sometimes the easiest ones are the most difficult. 2 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the half. We're going to do something unusual halftime, by the way.
Yep.
To kind of look ahead to the playoffs, possibilities for Super Bowl, and give you some, dispense whatever you might consider knowledge. It'll be fun. All right, second down and 10. The ball is at the 20. Charlie Young on the screen. And Young out to the 27-yard line. 7-yard pickup. Gerald Irons again on the stop. Clock ticking away. Down towards the 2-minute warning. Tommy Young, rookie out of North Carolina State. And he hadn't worked that much this year, but carried the ball 25 times coming into tonight's game for a 5.8 average. Good-looking prospect for Dallas. And there is the 2-minute warning. We'll be back in Oakland's Alameda County Coliseum right after this message. In Oakland, California, over 56,000, rather 50,000 people have shown up at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum to watch their Western Division champions of the AFC Oakland Raiders meet the Dallas Cowboys, and the Raiders lead the Cowboys 10-9. 2 minutes remaining. The Cowboys have a third down and 2. The ball up to 28, their own 28. Staubach with the play fake. Going for Charlie Young, and he cannot backhand it.
Yeah, he underthrew it. Frank, tomorrow ABC will take a look at the major postseason college bowl games on College Football Bowl Preview. We'll detail the upcoming bowl games, analyze the team's strengths and weaknesses, as well as make some predictions with our experts, Bud Wilkinson and the Duffer himself, Duffy Doherty. That's the College Football Bowl Preview tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern and Pacific, 11:30 Central Time on most of these ABC stations.
Boy, you do that good, Howard.
Tom Landry looking on as Dwayne Carroll comes in to do the punting. He'll punt to Ron Smith, who's having a rather frantic night. He returned 1 for 53 yards. Does not have a whole lot of concern about his body because he really takes some chances. And this time, Carroll has been instructed, I know, to kick it away from Ron Smith. And in doing so, he comes up with a shorty. So Oakland will have good field position with 1:50 remaining in the first half. They lead 10-9, and they have 3 timeouts. Smith on returns of 53, 13 and 21 has led to, I'm sure, Coach Tom Landry telling Dwayne Carroll to kick it away from that cat.
Remember earlier in the game, Frank, when Alex was telling us how it feels to play in these games when you've been eliminated, like he said so many times with Detroit, a sense of utter despair, right, Alex?
Oh, absolutely. Oakland, it's kind of relaxing, though, I'll tell you.
At their 48-yard line. Jones offside, jumps back, and Stabler goes out to Biletnikoff, who's having quite a night. This time he got off Charlie Waters and went to work on Mel Renfro.
I tell you, that was a dangerous pass.
You know, he's not getting the recognition this year he deserves, and mainly because of Cliff Branch. As you see, the Oakland Raiders with the hurry-up offense, but he came into tonight's game with 38 receptions. He has 4 on the night. That's 42 in the year, and he picked up 59 yards tonight with 1 touchdown. Stabler going quickly out again to Cliff Branch. And cannot hold on as Cornell Green was there.
He's trying to use the clock. He's got 1:17 left. He must think he's playing his classic game against Cincinnati all over again. That was one of the most incredible performances I think I've ever seen, Frank. And the folks will see Kenny Stabler at halftime, as he was when he drove the Raiders brilliantly to a come-from-behind victory in the waning seconds against the Bengals.
Of course, until Kenny Anderson broke his record this year, he had the best passing percentage in the history of this game for one single game. He goes again on second down as the flag flies. Riley Waters has Fred Biletnikoff just took it away from him. But a flag is down, and I believe it's going to go against Oakland.
That's incredible.
Holding.
I don't agree with you really, Frank, about Cliff Branch perhaps causing a veil to some degree to be drawn over Biletnikoff. His value is so established.
Well, I didn't say a veil. I said he just has not got the recognition that I feel he should have, because he is the reason that Cliff Branch is covered single coverage many of the times, because people around the league are just really afraid of this man. And here's one of the reasons why. Riley Waters has not been out of position. He really is covering as close as you can. He did the same thing on the touchdown, and Biletnikoff, again with a fine-thrown football, was able to score.
Here's Harvey Martin again, doing a good job flushing the
Get down at 20 from midfield. Manizak gets back almost to the original line of scrimmage. They'll mark it just inside the 41. Pursued, tackled by Dave Edwards.
And the viewers may have noted that Harvey Martin, number 79, was getting in on Biletnikoff again.
Oakland uses one of their timeouts. Liberty Bowl coming up. It'll be Maryland and Tennessee. Let's take a look. That's Monday night, and along with Keith Jackson, Bear Bryant will be there, Bud Wilkinson. Good football game in the Liberty Bowl as Kenny Stabler comes over to have a conference with head coach John Madden. And you know, Howard, John Madden is one of the funniest guys. That people who don't know him don't realize this man has a terrific sense of humor.
He's a personality. What's amazing is that it hasn't been developed by us of the media over the course of the years. The guy is funny.
And with a tremendous record, of course. Third down and 11. Stabler gets it loose to Clarence Davis. He's trying to get the first down. I don't know. It'll depend on where they mark the ball.
He may be inches short. But Stabler called the timeout.
Inside 50 seconds remaining in the half. Oakland out in front of Dallas, 10-9, and we'll have a measurement. Liberty Bowl we mentioned, of course, Monday night at 9 Eastern Time. Bear Bryant, Bud Wilkinson will be there. Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl coming up. Houston is there. They'll be going against North Carolina State. That's Monday, December the 23rd. Darrell Royal will be our guest coach there. We'll tell you more about the lineup of bowls here on ABC later on during the course of the evening. Right now, first down and 10 for Oakland. Stabler gets it away after a tremendous rush, finds the same receiver, Clarence Davis.
And that rush was again by 79, Harvey Martin. They simply have not been able to contain him. Let's look again.
Number 70, Henry Lawrence, is the right tackle on this play, and he's filling in for Don Vallo, who's been injured, and Harvey Martin is really eating them up right now at this time.
Oakland will use another timeout. They have one timeout remaining. And we're telling you about the Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl, Houston going against North Carolina State. And that should be really a high-scoring football game. Two high-scoring offensive teams. And there's the Gator Bowl, and this is going to be a beauty. The Longhorns of Texas, with their strong running game, fullbacks Roosevelt Leach and Earl Campbell, go against Auburn, the Auburn Tigers, one of the nation's finest defensive teams. Our guest coach there is going to be Frank Broyles of Arkansas. Now, that's Monday, December the 30th at 9 Eastern Time. Then the Sugar Bowl, Nebraska Nebraska, with their super quarterback, David Humm, will go against Florida. And Florida, of course, with a wide-open wishbone offense. They have All-American linebacker Ralph Ortega. That's New Year's Eve at 8 Eastern. And our guest coach there is going to be Barry Switzer from Oklahoma. Then, of course, the Hula Bowl live via satellite from Honolulu will take place Saturday, January the 4th, 4 Eastern time. And our guest commentator there, well, I guess he could coach too. He could do everything else but a football. O.J. Simpson. Great lineup of bowl games.
I remember a bowl game over in Honolulu back in 1957. Featuring on the one side Frank Gifford, on the other Alex Carroll. An extraordinary occasion.
27 seconds remaining in the first half. One timeout for Oakland. Second down and 5. And going to Bob Moore. Complete for the first down, and Mel Renfro slipped, and he scrambled out of bounds, killing the clock, saving the one remaining timeout.
Renfro slipped, and Moore was surprised. He turned around, and there the ball was. Slightly underthrown, but he got it.
Good athlete, Bob Moore, fourth year out of Stanford, 29 receptions coming into tonight's game. He was the reason that Oakland was able to obtain Bubba Smith, their defensive end, number 77 from Baltimore a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
They traded a big tight end named
Raymond Chester.
I was going to say that. Raymond Chester.
Of Morgan State. What an athlete.
First and 10. Oakland grinding it out. Clock moving now with 20 seconds. They have one timeout remaining. Wide open. Out on right back. Charlie Smith beating a linebacker. Dave Edwards.
That's why Kenny Smith has established himself this year as a truly remarkable quarterback. The way he's able to use that clock. The man is simply remarkable with either the sideline pass or, as in that case, using the back up the middle. What a player.
And the concern that the Oakland Raiders might be looking ahead to Miami has diminished somewhat.
A lot.
And the concern, I'm sure now, is being manifested down in Miami. As Don Shula and his Miami Dolphins, champions of the Western Division, look on. I'm sure they are. There is the conversion. Oakland has extended their lead over the Dallas Cowboys, 17-9. Charlie Smith, man that does a little bit of everything. He's sort of like a Jim Kick of Miami. Gets it all done. Good receiver, good runner. Here it is from the end zone. And Dave Edwards trying to cover him, just couldn't handle it.
There he is. Charlie Smith out of Utah, as versatile as Frank has indicated. Let's look at it again. That time he got all the protection he needed, Alex. There was no Harvey Martin around to kill him, and Charlie Smith just split that zone wide open. The so over-discussed zone defense in professional football.
That was a man-to-man.
Was it really?
Dave
You think
Edwards.
so?
Yes.
Yeah, the linebacker had to pick him up. That was a man-to-man coverage.
Okay.
Look at George knocking that ball up there.
Yakovenko kicks off.
You need your contact lenses, Frank.
He has got a little...
He wore them for 7 hours yesterday. Hurt his eyes.
We'll look at it as Dennis Morgan would see it. You're looking at Bob Newhouse, and Yakovenko kicks it on the ground and is fielded there by Doug Dennison. Look at Dennison scramble out over the 40-yard line. So 9 seconds remain on the clock for the Dallas Cowboys. They trail the Oakland Raiders 17-9. There he is again, Charlie Smith. Done a lot of things for the Oakland Raiders over the years, last 4 years. The last 7 years out of the University of Utah. Not fast, but he gets it done. 6 feet tall, 205 pounds.
Well, I'm getting ready for my stats, Frank, so I'm going to leave you right now. I'm getting ready, kid.
Where's everyone going? First and 10 for Dallas. All right, Charlie Young is one setback, number 30. Robert Newhouse, the other, number 44. The Cowboys take over on their own 40. Staubach immediately goes back. There's a lot of running room if he wants to. And he runs right back into the arms of Tony Klein, number 84. Roger Staubach goes down right at the line of scrimmage. There's Tony Klein. Part of that very flexible defensive front four of the Oakland Raiders. 1 second. And clock will begin and run out on the half when the receivers get back from downfield. There it is. That is the end of the first half. So the Oakland Raiders have battled back. They have taken a 17-9 lead over a very explosive Dallas football team, and we'll be back with halftime festivities of our own right after this. I'm blowing your ear.
Oh, yeah, Rebel.
I guess.
We're back at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum in Oakland, California. The Raiders leading at halftime over the Cowboys 17-9. 2 touchdown passes by the great one, Kenny Stabler, 1 to Biletnikoff and 1 to Charlie Smith. Halftime tonight is being brought to you by Gold Label Luxury Cigars. With Gold Label, you have 24-karat quality. Okay. We thank our friends of the General Cigar Company for having been with us all year, bringing you the halftime highlights. Naturally, tonight, a Saturday night, there will be no halftime highlights. Instead, as Frank told you during the second quarter play-by-play, something different. The three of us, Frank, Alex, and I, will pick our respective winners of the forthcoming Super Bowl. Each of us will name our top offensive and defensive player of the year. Then your disagreements with us can be dutifully registered by the influx of mail. Giff, how does that grab you?
That'd be pretty good. If I could, I'd just like to say thank you to a lot of football players who have made a great season for us, Alex and Howard. Congratulations to the guys who got into the playoffs, specifically maybe St. Louis. They've never been there before. Buffalo's never been there. Some of the other teams have been there, and, well, for what it's worth, we're going to give you some thoughts as to how we think it might all turn out. That's for what it's worth.
That's for what it's worth. Okay, my own view is that the winner of the Super Bowl will be the winner of the game to be played here next Saturday in the Oakland Coliseum between the Miami Dolphins and the Oakland Raiders. I respect Oakland. I think they're a superb football team. They've waited a long time for a Super Bowl victory. But I have to,
by the way, Howard, because we're not blacked out here in Oakland.
But I really have to pick the Miami Dolphins because they've been so great the past 2 years. Shula's held them together this year, and I've got to see them lose a showdown game to believe it.
Well, you're going to, Howard. Oakland is going to win it all. There's no question in my mind, and the reason I say that is because I think that the odds are definitely against Miami. I've never seen a team that can go on and win 3 in a row, and I don't think that Miami is going to do it. Secondly, I think they're going to play here in Oakland. They don't like to play on natural turf, and I think Kenny Stabler has really stabilized their ball club. So I think Oakland definitely will be in the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, Howard.
And the score right now, 17-9, Oakland against Dallas as we prepare to resume action in the second half. Dallas got off early, shot to a 7-0 lead. There you see the scoring summary on your screen. Oakland responded with a field goal. Then a safety in favor of Dallas when Ray Guy fumbled a snap from center in the end zone. Then the 2 touchdown passes, Stabler to Biletnikoff and Stabler to Charlie Smith.
Back out onto the field, the Raiders with a 17-9 lead over the Dallas Cowboys. Final regular season game of the season. We'll be back. Back in Oakland, California, ready for the second half. 2 explosive football teams, the Dallas Cowboys and the Oakland Raiders. Efren Herrera will kick off, and he'll be kicking to a dangerous man, Ron Smith, number 27, and Harold Hart, number 34. The Raiders leading the Dallas Cowboys 17-9. Harold Hart from his own 7-yard line. And Hart hit hard by Billy Joe Dupree, bounces off, gets up to the 27 where it's marked. Very jazzy Oakland Raider band out here we've been listening to tonight. Celebrities roaming in the area. Marvin Gaye was here earlier. James Garner. Both us here in the Coliseum on the final night of the game season, regular season for these 2 teams. And Larry Lawrence, a much-traveled first-year quarterback, comes in for the Oakland Raiders. Larry Lawrence.
And he's not from the University of Southern California either, Frank.
No, he's from the University of Iowa. Played up
from
in Canada.
Iowa.
And quickly, Lawrence slips, but goes to the air, fires out to the flat, and caught out there by Banazak. Eddie Lewis was out there covering. Gain of about 3 yards. We'll tell you a little bit about Lawrence. He started last week and hurt his knee, and Darryl LaMonica had to come in and help him. But he didn't finish his career at Iowa. He went down to Miami and for some reason took off from there. Played a couple of years up in Canada. He played at Edmonton. He played at Calgary, and then, well, he just kind of dropped out in 1972 and 73. And this year during the players' strike, as he always does, Al Davis looked around for a quarterback. He found this young man, and he did a superb job in preseason. Second down now and 7. Charlie Smith gets just back to the line of scrimmage. Dave Edwards over there to make the stop. As you look at the offensive line, behind which Larry Lawrence will be operating. Jim Otto in his 210th consecutive start tonight. Henry Lawrence is the rookie on the right side, number 70, that's been having such a disastrous evening with Harvey Martin. Lawrence, the rookie from Florida A&M in that offensive line for Oakland. Third down and 8. Frank Pitts now in at one wide receiver, number 85. He's in there with Cliff France, 21. Lawrence, and I told you his knee was bothering him, and he just appeared to buckle right there. Larry Cole was pressuring, but not pressuring him enough, and Larry Lawrence went down just on his own. He hurt his knee last week, said he wanted to give it a try tonight, and I think we may have seen the lesson.
Hey, look at that mustache. Joe Rudy to the left, Reggie Jackson to the right, two of the World Series heroes. Reggie Jackson, whom Charles Finley says he wants to trade. Let's bring him to the big town. Let him play with the Yankees or the Mets. What a player. I'm sorry, that was Rollie Fingers. That wasn't Joe Rudy with the handlebar mustache, the MVP of the World Series.
Well, this is Ray Guy, leading punter in the AFC. And he boots away. Taken there by Dennis Morgan. Morgan nailed as he goes to the 45-yard line. 41-yard punt, just Ray Guy's average. Dave Dalby was the man down there to make the stop. So the Dallas Cowboys with good field position. They trail 17-9. They opened up this game with a 7-0 lead, and then Blandy hit for a field goal to make it 7-3. Then Dallas got the safety. Ray Guy punting from his own end zone, bobbled the ball. That made it 9-3. And then Biletnikoff got a touchdown pass. That made it 10-9 Oakland. And then Kenny Stabler hit Charlie Smith from 15 yards out. That made it 17-9. That's where we are. Here in the third quarter. Staubach back and looking. Over the middle to Drew Pearson. Pearson spinning away from tacklers. He's at the 31. His first catch of the night. His 59th of the season.
Frank, I'll tell you, I like this Drew Pearson, and the reason I say that is because he really doesn't care about worried about that linebacker when he's doing these short-looking patterns. Now, you can see him. He's coming right down. He doesn't care about that linebacker. He's looking for the ball. Good concentration. And if he's going to get hit, he's going to kiss that ball first. And, of course, he does a good job once he gets the ball. But he's got a lot of guts, Howard.
Drew Pearson, he's 6 yards short of the Dallas Cowboys record held by Frank Clark.
For a free agent from Tulsa with some pickup.
Indeed, Howard is just going to say that. He has really been a find for the Cowboys.
I wish Fingers would shave that mustache off. He said so. Said he'd do it.
First and 10. Cowboys at the Raiders' 30-yard line. Newhouse just getting back to the line of scrimmage. They may give him a yard. Dallas Cowboys with an 8-5 record. They could end up possibly in a tie if St. Louis and Washington were both to lose tomorrow night.
There he is.
But in any event, they would not be in the playoffs.
My offensive and defensive ball player. I'll tell you that right now. Look at him chewing gum.
That's one of those playoff spots not decided. The only one, as a matter of fact. Washington plays Chicago tomorrow in Washington. St. Louis plays the New York Giants. If they end up in a tie, St. Louis will win the division because they beat Washington twice. St. Louis loses, Washington wins. Washington will be the divisional champion, and they will face Minnesota. Staubach has Pearson. If it's inbound, it is not. Just delayed a little bit because Pearson had made a good move on Skip Thomas, was wide open.
He had, but the ball laid heavy in the air, as they say. Took a long, long time to get there, Kip.
Staubach realizes that. He knew he had him open. Let's take a look at Drew Pearson. He has some really tremendous moves. You have to respect his speed. Now look at him work on Thomas. Turns him right around. There he is open. But just hung. The timing was bad. Good call again by officials tonight. Referee Bob Frederick, captain of the officials team. Third down now and 9. The ball inside the 30-yard line of Oakland. 11:10 remaining in the third quarter. Oakland leading 17-9. Ball back, and Robert Newhouse needed an apple box, and he might have had it. He's only 5'10", and it was overthrown.
5'10" in your program, 5'8" in life. Bob Lilly, the splendid veteran. Seems like the Dallas Cowboys and Bob Lilly are one and the same. His 196th consecutive game, as you see on the graphic.
Has a broken hand. Started a nice game. I think they just probably did that out of respect. Says he'll play next year if they want him to. Efren Herrera will attempt a 46-yard field goal. Has not missed inside the 30. This is a little out of his range, and it won't even be close. So Dallas does not come up with the points in their first possession here in the second half. We'll be back in Oakland right after this. 10:59 remaining in the third quarter from the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Alex Garris. Our final game of the regular season. We have one more coming up, of course, the Pro Bowl, January the 20th. Oakland leading the Cowboys 17-9. First and 10 from their own 29-yard line. Charlie Smith struggles over the 30-yard line out to the 33, a gain of 4.
Howard, you know what I really like about Oakland, and I don't think I've discussed this with you, that the fact that when they're playing bad, they still win, and that, to me, is the sign of a great ball club. You know, I've seen them several times this year, and 3 or 4 of the times, they didn't look real red hot, but yet they managed to win by a couple touchdowns.
That's what they did last week against Kansas City, and I think the same point was made by the announcers then, and it's a very good point.
Well, if I'd have known those announcers made that, I would have made that point.
Second down and 6. Vanazak, and Vanazak is into trouble over on the right side. In there was D.D. Lewis. He picked up a little help from Pat Toomey.
But when talking about the Raiders, you know, we've talked about Al Davis. Everybody in football knows he's one of the smartest men in the game, that he has been the long-term architect of this team's continuing excellence. Yet he's, you know, laden with the charge that they never win the big one. Well, this year with playoff game, there he is with Tex Schramm before the game, the two men who run the front offices of the respective teams. Skip.
Third down and 4. Over the middle of Vanazak, he has the first down. He was pushed back by Cliff Harris and Leroy Jordan, rather, and Cliff Harris pointing out that he did not make the first down, but his forward progress was up over the 40. He had to get to the 39. There's another Jim Kick type football player.
Yeah.
Charlie Smith can do a lot of things and do them well.
So can that Vanazak, and he's been around a long, long time. Point is, Davis prays that this is the year that once and for all he'll get rid of the charge. He doesn't win the big one. Don Shula knows what that charge is once he faced it, and he's put it to rout.
First and 10. Mark Van Egan, a rookie from Colgate, is in now. One setback as Larry Lawrence runs, and, well, the knee doesn't look all that bad as he gets the first down over midfield at the 49-yard line. Now, he is limping, but apparently, well, he's going to come off again, I do believe.
He looked like a speedy Joe Namath.
Mel Renfro made the stop. You know, he was quite a running back up in the Canadian Football League.
Larry Lawrence?
Yeah, he was. He gained over 300 yards one year up there. Let's look at him again. Now, he has obviously trouble with that knee. Quite an individual. He took a couple of years off, bummed around the country. He said he wanted to see what it looked like.
He's limping up there.
First and 10. Just short of the 48 of the Dallas Cowboys for the Oakland Raiders. Frank Fitz in motion. And running into all kinds of problems is number 23, Charlie Smith. He loses a yard. Moving towards 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Well, I hope we do, when Dallas gets possession of the ball, get to see Clint Longley. I asked Clint Murkison, the owner of the Cowboys, last night what he was going to do with Longley. And looking back to last Monday's game when the Rams lost to the Redskins on a disputed 4th down call, he said, I'm going to trade him for the Rams kicker who turned passer.
2nd down and 11. Mark Van Egan shattered all the Colgate rushing records of a year ago. He's hit by Leroy Jordan. And
there's the Mad Bomber, Darryl LaMonica. We may yet see him.
So that was Longley. Oh, yes, the veteran, Darryl LaMonica. This program is being brought to you as a special exclusive of ABC Sports. Right now, let's pause 5 seconds and allow our local stations to identify themselves. On 3rd down and 7, Lawrence renting away from the center. Fires and almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of Leroy Jordan. That's 2 tonight that Leroy has almost had.
Look at Lawrence. He looks like Rolly Fingers.
There's the veteran middle linebacker, the former All-American from Alabama. So long ago that he can hardly remember it. But he has had some great years. Perhaps his best was last year. And having another good one this year. You know, and he's not big at all, Alex. 220 pounds.
Well, that's not small.
Well, it depends on where you work.
That's true.
4th down, Ray Guy. Deep is Dennis Morgan. Oh, Guy really nailed this one. Might have put too much on it, but he got it high and just could not quite get down fast enough to turn it around.
I wonder why he didn't pass.
Bob Hudson was racing down there, and he almost caught it on the fly. 6:58 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and we'll be back in Oakland after this. Back in Oakland, California, Frank Gifford, along with Howard Cosell and Alex Karras, watching a very offensive-minded football game at the outset. The first half, however, it has slowed somewhat. Here as we have moved almost halfway through the 3rd quarter. Dallas with the first and 10. Moving from their own 20, Robert Newhouse nailed for a 2-yard loss. Art Toms, number 80. Moving quickly along the line of scrimmage in pursuit, made the stop.
Frank, ABC Sports brought the public the top 8 rated sports program series last winter. They'll be returning next month with another outstanding schedule of the best in sports television. I'll pick up the beginning of this, fellas. You join me after the next play. The Pro Bowlers Tour premieres Saturday, January 4th. It'll be in its 14th year. And then, of course, Sunday's Wide World of Sports, January 5th. More on that in a moment.
2nd down and 12, and Art Tom got an ovation from the partisan Oakland Raider fans. He played great football all year. And this one, intended for Bob Hayes, could have been picked off by Gerald Irons.
That's right.
3rd down and 12.
Irons registered his own disgust with himself, but he didn't have good vision on the ball. January 5th, Frank, Sunday. Ali against Foreman. First time on home television. I'll be in the studio with Muhammad. I expect to have a lot of fun with that one, Alex.
Yeah, well, how about the American Sportsman? Premiere Sunday, January 5th. That'll be a good show. I've never been on that one.
The Superstars on that same Sunday, and that's a fun show.
You go horse hunting, Alex. 3rd down and 12. Ball at the 18. Back and looking. Billy Joe Dupree. And Dupree has the first down. He's at the 45. Hit there finally by Ron Smith, but he'll catch it in a crowd, and he has really come on, and this is 2nd year. 42-yard touchdown pass last week against Cleveland. That one was good for 23 yards. Boy, and he is some receiver. 6'4", 230.
How about, excuse me, how about your magazine show? It's coming up pretty soon.
That'll be back. That'll be back in January.
John Fitzgerald, we're happy to tell you, who was hurt in the 1st quarter, got kneed in the head by his own man, Charlie Young, is back in the game, going all out at center, number 62. Cowboys move from their own 45, 1st and 10. Robert Newhouse fumble, and it's picked up by Villapiano. Phil Villapiano, Johnny on the spot as he always is, comes up with the fumble, returns it to the 28-yard line. Robert Newhouse lost it in the middle of the line of scrimmage, and Villapiano was alertly there.
That took a perfect bounce right into Phil's hands, but as Frank said, Villapiano has a way of being where the ball is. Let's look again. There, and right into Phil's hands. Of course, he's got good hands. Young man from Bowling Green.
Villapiano is a guy that I like to, they've talked about he can't really defense against the run. He does everything well, and he's right by the ball all the time. I think he's a darn good football player.
Do you believe that George Bland is quarterback? He is. He's 46 years old.
Throw a bomb, George.
He wants Bland for a touchdown. I don't believe it. Holy cow. George Blanda, I believe his first offensive play of the year. Certainly has not thrown a pass all year.
Isn't that
his first play is a touchdown pass. He's 46 years old, and look at him hugging.
Oh, they love him here in Oakland, I'll tell you that. They love him everywhere.
Remember the heroics of, what was it, 72, Howard? When he, 71 or whatever it was, when he just had all those great finishes.
Every year. That's the problem there, Frank. Man is a remarkable fella. Just remarkable. And as enthusiastic as ever.
Kenny Stabler sets it up for Blanda's conversion. And this crowd is on his feet, giving George Blanda a standing ovation. His last touchdown pass was back in 1972. He did not throw a pass last year, and that's his first pass in 2 years, a touchdown pass to Cliff Branch. We'll be back in Oakland right after this. George Blanda has just hit Cliff Branch for a touchdown for Oakland. They lead the Dallas Cowboys 24-9. And this crowd is really happy for a great old-timer in his 25th year. No pro football player has ever played that long. George Jakovenko will kick deep. And indeed, he does kick it deep. Dennis Morgan takes it at his 3. Upended, falls out to the 30-yard line. A 27-yard return. Let's go back to a point in time a few moments ago.
Let me just ask you, here's a 46-year-old man from Oakland throwing a touchdown pass, and you're taking Miami in the Super Bowl game, Howard.
I'm beginning to worry about that a great deal. You may have latched on to the Oakland year. This is a superb football team. Look at this kid, Branch.
Lost in the shuffle. This is his 13th touchdown reception of the year.
What's your feeling about Pittsburgh, Giff? Unchanged?
Well, they might hustle them a little more quickly. First and 10. Dallas moving from the 30. Foul back. Out to Drew Pearson is complete at the 47-yard line. First down, Dallas. Monty Johnson back there trying to cover, and Saulback very niftily lifted it right over his head.
Jeff Alex has just received a formal invitation to appear as a guest on the American Sports.
It better not be fishing for carp and Gary, I'll tell you.
I don't know what it's going to be, but it's not going to have anything to do with horses, Mongo. In the meantime,
that's not how you do it. I've never been on it either, and I work there.
Hey, fellas, ABC has a very important announcement to make. By way of the sports department, there'll be a press conference in New York Wednesday morning that I think will really excite the fans of America. That's all I can tell you now.
First and 10 for Dallas. They move from the 47-yard line, and this is Charlie Young. He gets 5 yards inside Oakland territory at the 48.
It's been a tough year for Roger Staubach. He wrote a book going into this season called First Down and Lifetime to Go. And he does have a good football life ahead of him, but this has been a most difficult year for him. His team having gotten off so badly and Roger having his ups and downs.
Dropped almost 10 percentage points from last year to this year. Second down and 5. Ball marked at Oakland 48. Ball back. Going for Charlie Young, and again he puts it behind Charlie Young. Charlie Young is going to think after tonight he's going to have to practice some circus catches. Don't forget, Monday night, ABC will be in Memphis for the Liberty Bowl as we bring you the Maryland Terrapins, the Atlantic Coast Conference champions. And, of course, they have outstanding lineman Randy White. He won the Outlet Trophy. They go against Tennessee, and they have a really fine quarterback in Conridge Holloway. Exciting game. That's Maryland and Tennessee this Monday night in the Liberty Bowl, 9 Eastern time on most of these ABC stations. And there, of course, Paul Bear Bryant and Bud Wilkinson are coaching commentators. Third down now and 5. 3 wide receivers. Bob Hayes is in. The tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, is out. Back unloads one deep. Overthrowing Golden Richards.
I mean, he threw that ball.
Yeah, Golden Richards was flying down the field, too, and, of course, it was a little long.
Yeah, he hit one just like that last week against Cleveland. That ball was in the air 63 yards, according to Terry O'Neill, who never misses on such information. Yeah,
but you know what they say about statistics.
They come from Terry O'Neill, you can believe them. Dwayne Carroll, the punt for Dallas. The Cowboys finding it very rough sledding against the Western Division champions of the AFC. And this man has made quite a contribution. Ron Smith. Carroll puts it way up in the air. And this one is going to go out of bounds at the 1-yard line. A 47-yard punt. And Dwayne Carroll, I'm sure, didn't even dream that that's where it would wind up. Took a Cowboy bounce and out of bounds at the 1-yard line. First and 10 for Oakland. They begin from their own 1. Larry Lawrence, a semi-rookie, is the quarterback. Anazak bobbled the ball. Goes on, and they'll mark it for a gain of a couple out to the 3. And we have an injured Cowboy down on the field. Well, now it's Cornell Green getting to his feet. Oh, what a great player he's been over the years. 13 of them. Came up as a free agent basketball player from Utah State.
Oh, what a basketball player, Frank. I was in Madison Square Garden the day he came in with Utah State. And his leaping ability and his grace was something to see. What a leaper he was, Alex. Really. He'd get up there like a guy 6'6".
What was that? 6'6"? He can leap like a guy 6'6". Yeah, right. There's Freddie Bolitnikoff. I love him.
What did you call him, Pinocchio?
Pinocchio.
I can still see him signing during the Pro Football War.
Sure, he was the Detroit Lions' second draft choice. Of course, we didn't get him.
Al Davis signed him right on the playing field at the end of the Gator Bowl game.
Was that illegal at the time?
No, that was war. What are you talking?
Foul mark just short of the 3-yard line. Cornell Green was off to the sidelines. The Cowboys adjust their defensive unit. Charlie Waters goes to the strong safety spot. They're down to their last defensive man. Pete Banaszak gets the call again on second down. Leroy Jordan moving over from his middle linebacking position to make the stop. Mel Renfro is now at the right cornerback. Charlie Waters is playing one safety. Cliff Harris the other. And Mark Washington has come in. Mark Washington, number 46. He's at the left cornerback. Third down and 7. Ball at the 4-yard line. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Lawrence going to the air. Intercepted Leroy Jordan. Leroy Jordan back just to about the 1-foot line. Grand old middle linebacker with a 13-yard return of a Larry Lawrence interception. Leroy Jordan always with a sort of a knack for popping up where he shouldn't be if you're a quarterback.
Well, that was the second really bad throw by young Lawrence. The other one, oddly, was directed right to Leroy Jordan, but he dropped it. Look at this, Alex.
Yeah, he was right. I mean, the guy should have never thrown the ball, and I'm sure that Lawrence's knee is hurting him, and I can't figure out why they wouldn't take him out and put LaMonica in the game.
Yeah, they're not going to use Bland again.
Good block by Charlie Waters ahead of Jordan. Got the stacked backfield that the Cowboys like to use down near the goal line. Doug Jennison gets the touchdown for Dallas. And here is a young man who gets his first touchdown. He's a rookie from Kutztown State. And Howard, I know you recall that game in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Doug was carrying the ball in, would have given Dallas commanding position against the Eagles, fumbled, and Joe Lavender, number 30, picked it up, scrambled all the way for a touchdown, playing with his spectacles on.
I don't know why I asked you if you'd remember. Do you remember how the weather was?
There's Johnny Madden. He told Chet Forty.
Was it raining that day, Howard?
As a matter of fact, it was a very, very pleasant night.
Efren Herrera. It's good, and Dallas draws closer. John Madden, not happy about that. Let's look once again. Doug Dennison takes a good shot from Connors, but gets in for the score.
John Madden. I was saying, Frank, that before the game started, John Madden bumped into Chet Forty, our director, and told him that he had a surprise for us tonight to tell the guys in the booth. And Chet told us to look for something special. The surprise, of course, was the insertion of George Blanda for one play touchdown pass.
Efren Herrera. And it'll be taken by Harold Hart at the 10. Look out. He went out of bounds. Harold Hart almost broke it off, but they mark it at the 47-yard line. 27-yard return for Harold Hart.
I tell you, if you had to find players in a cave, Al Davis would find them. Harold Hart is 11th round draft. We spotted him in the preseason play when Oakland played San Francisco in one of our preseason games. It was altogether clear that this young man had every capacity to become a star. It's going to take a little time because of absence of opportunity, but he will. He's got the tools.
Yeah, I love this. They're leaving Blanda in. The crowd loves it. A lot of them on their feet. The hands off to Banaszak. And look at Banaszak. He gets 8 yards. He's down to the 45 of the Cowboys.
Well, that's something, the way that George sparks that ball club when he comes in there. He's an old guy. You know that the offensive linemen don't want anyone to get to George.
He's a picker, too.
That's
He knows how to call the plays. And John's a little irritated. He thought he had things sewed up with a 24-9 victory. He doesn't want to let it slip away in front of the home folks. The giveaway touchdown by Lawrence has created a little bit of caution on his part. Thus, Blanda's in there.
Second down and 2. Banaszak gets the first down and more inside the 40 of the Cowboys.
Boy, they're blocking right now, Howard. They're putting their heads down and going right through that line.
Well, let's take a look. Gene Upshaw, 63. George Beal is 64. Is there a better offensive guard tandem in the NFL, do you think, Frank?
Well, it's hard to pinpoint it right now, Howard. They're really good, and we've known that for a long time. They're very quick. I can't think of the offhand. If you will talk to me in the morning, I can work something out for you. From the 39. And gives the ball off to Johnny Smith. Smith has the first down. He's inside the 20. He's down to the 17, a 22-yard pickup. Hit by Charlie Waters, and Charlie Waters is having a busy night.
Alex, you're right. Something happens when Blanda gets in there.
Absolutely.
Can't hit the man who's 46.
I wonder what his pension's going to be. Ever think of that, Alex?
It's incalculable.
Number 64, George Beeler, is now limping off. One of the guards we were speaking of a moment ago. Dan Medlin has come in to replace him. Number 79, and John Madden. That's what you hate to see late in the year because you cannot activate players anymore. You have to go with what you have into the playoffs. First and 10 for Oakland. 17-yard line of Dallas. Blanda got a tremendous rush as he pulled away from center and just got rid of the football to save the loss. Getting in there quickly was a safety blitz, Cornell Green. Clock stopped now with 7 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
You know something? You watch a play like that, and a 46-year-old man can get hurt. You have to wonder why LaMonica seems so completely ostracized. You know, Alex?
I can't understand it. If they're paying him, why don't they play him a little bit?
On third down. Going for Cliff Branch, incomplete. Overthrown. Branch well covered there.
Well, an Oakland Raiderette.
Blanda, the wily old veteran, has thrown his 236 touchdown pass. He started that career back in 1949. Began with the Bears. I thought when I played against him as a rookie, I thought he was an old guy.
I've been trying to figure out his pension ever since you mentioned it. I wish I could reach Pension Planners of America who handle the fund. Sig Hyman, who runs it, might be able to give me the ready answer.
3rd down and 10. I bet it's on its way. Blanda and his receiver trips and falls in the end zone. And as the gun sounds, ending the first quarter, but Cliff Branch, trying to cut to the outside, slipped, went down, and Blanda unloaded it. You heard the gun. That's the end of the first quarter. The Oakland Raiders out in front of the Dallas Cowboys, 24-16. We'll be back in just a moment. The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Darryl LaMonica, and he has to wonder what his future is.
Yeah, they played a one-legged quarterback tonight, a 46-year-old quarterback, and there is Darryl LaMonica. We gave a little portrait of him earlier. You got to wonder what he's thinking.
And here's the 46-year-old on 4th down, a 35-yard field goal attempt, and it's good. George Blanda, night in Oakland, California.
Well, to get back one more time about Darryl LaMonica, I've seen the guy play football. He can play football, and my whole point is that if the man is going to get paid to play with Oakland, why in the heck would they use him? As we've talked about before, if they're not going to use him, then why would they keep him on the roster? That's what I don't understand.
He came in last week and worked against Kansas City. The Oakland Raiders won that 7-6. They won it on a touchdown pass, as a matter of fact, from LaMonica to Branch. Setting it up, George Dakovenko. Well, I'm getting it out every time. I think that'd be killing the Kansas City horse tonight. Cheap, Dennis Morgan. Rookie from Western Illinois. Dakovenko actually started with the Cardinals in 71. He played out in 72, tried Kansas City, finally wound up in Oakland. If he doesn't kick it any further than that, he won't be here long. From the 10. Out to the 25. Morgan out to the 25. Cowboys now with a quarter. They have drawn within striking distance twice this evening, and Oakland comes right back. Raiders leading 27-16. The Cowboys took the initial lead, a 7-0 touchdown, when Walt Garrison fumbled into the end zone, and it was recovered by Drew Pearson. Finally hit a field goal to make it 7-3.
John Madden is obviously relaxed. He just told us that he's playing Blanda to keep the older people glued to the screen.
On 1st down, Drew Pearson on the screen. Rayfield right with a big block out in front, and Pearson has the 1st down. He's over the 40 to the 42, hit by Kelvin Korver. Boy, you saw one of the great tackles in pro football, number 70, pull out from his tackle position, come out and really lay a block on the Oakland cornerback, Skip Thomas. 1st down now is marked at the 43. Drew Pearson with his 60th reception. 3 tonight, or rather 61st reception. 4 yards short of a Dallas Cowboy pass receiving record. Stallback, flag flies, and it could be that Pearson was in motion, but this is Billy Joe Dupree. And Dupree is inside the 25 at the 23. And a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Drew Pearson, I believe, coming in motion, had moved towards the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped. There's the illegal procedure. 34-yard gain nullified.
It's a tough break. There's Clint Longley.
Hey, did he turn on America Thanksgiving Day?
He sure did.
Came into that game. He did a couple touchdowns, and he got the one to Billy Joe Dupree.
Yeah, I tell you, you look at Dupree and you think about all the great tight ends in the National Football League. They really have great people at that position. And I was astonished at our dinner conversation last night with Davis and Schramm when Davis said, without question, Riley Odoms of Denver is the best tight end in football. Weren't you, Frank?
I was surprised Schramm didn't hit him. 1st and 15. Big hole for Charlie Young. 1st down. Inside the 45 at the 43.
You know, we've talked about Longley's Miracle of Thanksgiving Day. I really think we should take one last lingering look at it, since this is the last regularly scheduled Monday Night Football on Saturday night. There it is.
I wonder if George Allen is watching.
Seconds left. Kenny Stone left behind, and our friend Drew Pearson in there for the score. And from a ground level camera,
Little youngster had to be asked to be drafted. Cincinnati had him, and they didn't think much of him. They let him go to Dallas. But he's still on the bench behind Roger Staubach. And Staubach on a 1st and 10. The 43. Goes to Billy Joe Dupree. This time a gain of 17, half of what they would have had a few moments ago without the motion penalty, but it's a first down at the 26.
Tell you this, if they pick up a touchdown, John Madden will stop giving messages to our man on the sidelines to send up here and concentrate on the game.
He'll be busy next Saturday. And Don Shula and his group, Greasy, Gazant, Mercury, Morris, of course that great defensive unit, they'll be here. On the first down, Staubach ducking and just overthrows Drew Pearson. And he was wide open.
He sure was.
But the problem with that long crossing pattern, you have to hold it, and you really get a little nervous back there with all the stomping and the roaring that's going on around you. Good protection, though, by the offensive line. Now look how long he has to wait. There's Pearson finally breaking open. And was he open?
All alone.
Bob Hayes comes in. Replaces Golden Richards. 3rd down. Ball just inside the 26. 12 minutes, 20 seconds remain in the 4th quarter. 2nd down, rather. This time Staubach gets away. And firing again, intended for Drew Pearson. Tremendous rush on Staubach. Monty Johnson coming in from his linebacking spot.
Good rush on this. The linebackers are blitzing on this one, and of course he gets away from it. He's good at that. He can scramble. And that ball could have been caught, and I think Marvin Gaye would have caught that. You know, when he practiced with us, he could catch those kind of patterns, but the only thing he didn't want to do is block. Marvin told me no blocking going on. He doesn't want to block anybody.
Marvin Gaye from Detroit, Michigan.
What a singer.
Okay, now it's 3rd down. The ball at the 26. Dallas totally frustrated here in the 2nd half. And great play, great catch, and Nehemiah Wilson is saying no, and Drew Pearson, I believe, is hurt.
It's a fierce tackle, really was.
Nehemiah Wilson really hit Drew Pearson.
He's got a knee. You won't find a better reception than this. This guy really catches this ball, I'll tell you. He goes up in the air.
And he gets nailed just as he does, and you see the twist on that leg.
As he
Boy, do you hate to see that.
Wilson grabbed the football from him.
He's caught some great passes, Drew Pearson, this year. Just fantastic.
Oh, there you see the hyperextension, or at least it looked like that, of the left knee.
Well,
there's
somebody's
Lamonica.
been listening to us, Alex.
Well, he once insured his arm for $1 million, so I guess, you know, just think, though, if his arm dies, how the rest of his body's going to live. Pretty good, huh? You didn't get that one, Frank.
No, I was thinking about Drew Pearson.
There's Marvin. He sang the national anthem tonight. Just, I was in
Detroit,
tears.
right?
Just
Detroit.
beautiful, yes. Oh, yes. Marvelous singer.
Good to have you with us, Marvin.
Pretty good athlete. Pretty good athlete. There's his son. Better athlete than Marvin already.
Meanwhile, Drew, or rather, the physicians have come out to attend to Drew Pearson. What a sensational year he's had. 62 receptions. And hopefully he's not too seriously injured. Great future for this youngster from Tulsa, now in only his 2nd year. Signed as a free agent last year, and the Cowboys knew immediately they really had something. You know, all the Cowboys receivers are working in their 3rd year. Billy Joe Dupree is in his 2nd year, or at least their front line receivers. Golden Richards is in his 3rd year. 1. First down. Dennison around the corner. Gets 5 yards. Moves inside the 10-yard line. Stays out of bounds there by Monty Johnson and George Atkinson.
Dennison's a good-looking rookie. Frank was just mentioning the relative youth of the receivers that Dallas has. People keep thinking of Dallas in the old terms and saying they've got the best personnel in football. I don't think that's true any longer, if it ever was. But what is true, that very quietly, Tom Landry and Tex Schramm are turning this team around. They're a transitional team with a lot of new faces and much younger than anybody gives them credit for being. That may be why they got off to the bad early start this year.
Second down, a long 4. Staubach. Under tremendous pressure, gets it off. Intended out there for Charlie Young, but Staubach really was pressured. Had to get rid of it. And the man who was applying the pressure, Monty Johnson again. You know, another thing about this Dallas team, they're 23, as you said, Howard, 23 of their 47-man roster are at 3 years or less experience. You know, and there's not one player on this Dallas football team that has ever played one play for any other NFL team. That is rather amazing. They have built it themselves. Third down and 4. Oakland Raider fans, 50,000 plus, chanting defense. Staubach. Get it out there for Golden Richards, and he slipped.
You know, Howard, you're talking about Landry and the way he's replenishing his ball club gradually. Most coaches that come into the National Football League, they make drastic changes immediately. And consequently, when that happens, you have a very young ball club that's going to take 5 and 6 years to mature to become contenders. This guy gradually is bringing younger players along, still has a nucleus of old players, and I think it really is a good way to do it.
I think what you say used to be more true than it is now, Alex. It doesn't take 5 or 6 years any longer. Witness Don Coryell, witness John Ralston, witness Chuck Fairbanks. They've turned it around quickly. But Frank is right in the way they've laid a self-built, solid foundation.
Fourth down. The Dallas Cowboys will go for it. They will not go with the field goal. They trail 27-16. Staubach. A lot of time to get by the receiver. Almost picked off. Almost picked off by Ron Smith.
He was looking for that pass. He had it read. He wanted that football. He had it. Couldn't hold it.
The Oakland Raiders again turn back the Dallas Cowboys. And we'll be back in Oakland right after this message. Darryl LaMonica has come into the game for the Oakland Raiders. Darryl LaMonica, of course, for so many years, the #1 quarterback here with the Raiders in successful years. And then along came Kenny Stabler. And Kenny Stabler 2 years ago took over, and Darryl LaMonica sort of drifted into obscurity, if you will, because Stabler was so sensational. Here's his counterpart of the Dallas Cowboys, Roger Staubach, not having what I know he would think would be the best of years. Certainly not, because for the first time in 9 years, the Cowboys will not be in the playoffs. Stabler hands off to Banaszak, and Banaszak finds the hole out to the 15-yard line. Gain of 6, it'll be second down and 4. Banaszak. Again, very reliable, as is Charlie Smith for these Oakland Raiders. They can kill you with consistency, and now with Cliff Branch, the team with Fred Biletnikoff, Bob Moore at the tight end. Excellent set of speedy receivers. The fourth Oakland quarterback of the night. Banaszak gets the call again. Oakland going for ball control.
Exactly so. Like to run that clock down as quickly as possible and get to work early tomorrow, because they are going to work tomorrow on Miami.
Big day around the league tomorrow. Particularly big for Washington. They play the Bears. St. Louis will entertain the New York Giants. A win by both of those teams. St. Louis would win the Eastern Division of the NFC, having beaten Washington twice. If St. Louis should falter, Washington could win with the win of Chicago. Then they would go on to face the Minnesota Vikings 1 week from today. On 3rd and 1. Fumble. LaMonica picks it up, but he'll be far short of the first down.
I like to see that. That's a gutsy play.
Collared there by Cliff Harris. And the Raiders will have to give it back to the Dallas Cowboys. The clock moving. at 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
You know, this is our last regular season game, but don't forget, fellas, we have another meeting. January 20th,
right,
Monday night, the Orange Bowl, the Pro Bowl game. Top players in the AFC going against the pride of the NFC.
Yeah, I should have been there many, many more times than 5.
It'll have a new look on that Monday night, and there's going to be a lot going, much more than usual, because many have called the game passé. Not so any longer, not with the AFC so dominant during the inter-conference battles this year. The NFC has something to prove.
Ray Guy. This will be Dennis Morgan. Ray Guy hit a beauty. Morgan bouncing around, looking, pecking here and there, gets out to the 49-yard line. 51-yard punt by Ray Guy, who's in quite a battle for the American Football Conference lead with Gerald Wilson of Kansas City. Wilson having a good day today. We'll be back right after this message. Well, how you interpret it, Howard?
I have a massive disinterest.
Bob Moore's brother. 1st and 10. The ball at the 49 for the Cowboys. The game still within reach. They trail the Oakland Raiders 27-16. But the Raiders have been the dominant force here in the second half, both offensively and defensively. Roger Staubach going deep. Intended there for rookie Bill Houston. And
they're going to push. They're going to call pushing on that.
They're going to call interference against Nehemiah Wilson. There's Nehemiah. And he's got a little hand in there.
Arms around me. Yeah, he was
Honey, hold me tight. Cuddle up and cuddle up.
Nehemiah Wilson, he's not very big, 165 pounds. Lost his job really this year to Skip Thomas, but then came back and took over when Willie Brown was hurt. There's the interference call. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys. They're on the 11-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Charlie Young gets the call, and he collects a group of the front four of the Raiders.
And a couple of yards.
Corver.
You know, I've been out in California for 10 days. I'm tired, Howard. I'm going home. I'm going bananas.
You're going to Detroit.
Yeah, I'm freaking out.
The gift goes to St. Louis for an affair Monday night, which will be presented the annual Paul Crispin Award to the most valuable member of the St. Louis Cardinals. KTVI, our affiliate channel, will be covering that proceeding.
Yeah, what a great year they did have, too.
What a great man Paul Crispin was.
Right on 2nd down. Staubach still winging it, and this time, whoa!
How do you like that?
Richards caught the rebound from Nehemiah Wilson.
Wilson's having all kinds of hard luck.
He's frustrated.
He had that ball picked off.
That's a very alert football player and a very good one is Golden Richards. Had 2 touchdowns last week. Should have had a third. Crossed his hands on a dead one over the middle. And here is Nehemiah Wilson. Look at Richards. He's right there. It's his first catch of the night.
Yeah, he went out. Another good call.
26th of the year, but he has converted 5 of them to touchdowns. There is possibility for a first down. And just a little short, as you can see. Look at it again, working man for man against Nehemiah Wilson. Wilson had it just pegged beautifully. Sometimes it doesn't always bounce your way.
It's been an odd ball game, a game in which Dallas still has a chance for victory, but a game in which
they have a very good chance, I would say, at this point.
Well, one has to feel that Oakland was a little loose, a little careless, putting Larry Lawrence in there, leaving him in there. One has to feel that Oakland was the dominant team. There's Gene Upshaw, one of their dominant guys.
Is that his tongue hanging out of his mouth? No. Looks like an anteater.
He is. He's not feeling well. On 3rd down. Dennison lunges forward, gets the touchdown, his 2nd of the night. Doug Dennison, his 2nd TD, and the Dallas Cowboys have moved within range. And Doug Dennison is congratulated by his teammates. Cowboys moving 51 yards in 3 plays. Big play, of course. A pass interference call against Lamar Wilson. That followed shortly thereafter by a deflection of a pass by Lamar Wilson. And a very alert Golden Richards was there. Efren Herrera for the conversion. And it's good. Oakland leading Dallas 27-23, and we'll be back right after this. Oakland Raiders, who led at one point 24-9 in the third quarter, maybe took the game just a little too casually from that point on, and all of a sudden they are in a little bit of trouble. And even though they have clinched their Western Division of the AFC, I know they would like to end up with that 12-2 record. Right now, Dallas has moved to within 4. Efren Herrera set to kick off. We'll watch from the end zone. Ron Smith is deep, 27, along with Harold Hart. Ron Smith at the 17. And Smith nailed as he gets out to the 29-yard line. Getting down there quickly, Jim Arneson. Darryl Monica moves back in for the Oakland Raiders as they'll attempt to get a little momentum back.
Well, they're not attempting to the extent that they would be if they sent Kenny Stabler back in there. So there's still a sense of security because the point differential is 4 rather than 3 where a field goal could tie it.
Frank Pitts goes out to the left. He's number 85. Cliff France is the other wide receiver. He's in close, top of your screen. Charlie Smith. It's about 3 yards out to the 32-yard line. Hit there by Leroy Jordan.
Dallas has been closing in against them on the rush. Oakland, as Frank mentioned earlier, wants to use ball control to run out the clock as quickly as possible. It's now at 7:45 and counting down.
Second down and 8. Ball up to 32. Darryl Monica. Been around for 12 years. Began his career in Buffalo. Came here in 1967. Hands off to Charlie Smith again. D.D. Lewis is there along with Leroy Jordan.
Well, clearly they're going to have to throw the ball if they want to keep possession of it. You've got a 3rd and long situation. 8 to go. And Darryl, when he does throw it, has a propensity for erring play selection.
Before tonight's game, Darryl had only attempted 9 passes. You had to put things so delicately.
If Alex Jr. is up, go to the dictionary now and find out what Howard just said, please.
3rd down and 8. Out to the left comes Frank Pitts. Picked up there by Mel Renfro. And they remain in their tight formation. And they go with the run again. And this is Harold Hart. Turning the corner. It's a yard and a half. Flag goes down. I don't know whether it's for a foul or it's to mark the position of the out of bounds. Harold Hart, 11th round draft pick out of Texas Southern.
I didn't know this about Ron Smith. He's from East Chicago, Indiana. You know, that's not too far from my hometown.
Flipping personal foul against Oakland. Excuse me, Alex.
Well, they're going to have to kick now. Dallas will have good field position after this penalty is paced off. Unless Darryl connects with a big... Well, they're taking it. Sure, they'd take it, Frank. They'll get good field position now. Unless Darryl connects with a bomb.
Okay, there's 6 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Ray Guy comes out. Oakland now has been penalized 5 times for 107 yards.
No, what are they doing? Please tell me what they're doing.
Well, they changed their
they're not going to take it because they want the 4th down.
Yeah, to force them to kick.
Oh, that gets me nervous up here in the booth.
I don't think that's smart. I'd rather have the penalty paced off, put the pressure on LaMonica. Frank disagrees. That's, you know.
Well, they want to get the football as quickly as they can. Otherwise, they would have to contend with another play, even if they were to get it back.
Yeah, but the 6:37 left, all the time in the world. Contend with another play?
I like the way I put it.
I like the way you put it, but I don't agree with it.
Great guy. Dennis Morgan is deep. And Cliff Harris catches it at the 30-yard line and nailed immediately. Wide World of Sports, award-winning show on ABC. The Dallas Cowboys trailing 27-23 with 6 minutes and 28 seconds on the clock. Take over first and 10. They move to 21. Staubach in trouble, but gets out. It finds Bill Houston wide open at the 40-yard line and knocked back to the 39-yard line. First down, Dallas, 18-yard pickup. Bill Houston, a rookie from Jackson State.
I'll tell you, this is incredible as we look at it again, Alex, because Staubach is apparently completely gone.
He's a great athlete, though, and he can do a lot of things for you. And he's a dedicated ball player, and he keeps his ball club up. I don't care if they're winning 3 ball games a year, or 8 ball games a year, or 12. He's the guy who really is an inspiration to that ball club, without a question of doubt.
It's extraordinary the way he kept his balance.
Heisman Trophy winner his junior year. Not too many of them do that.
Archie Griffin.
That was Bill
I
Houston's
knew you'd say that.
4th reception of the night. Flags fly as Staubach tries to get rid of it. He is hit by Art. Arm is in motion, but again, flags down at the line of scrimmage. It did appear as if one of the Raiders had moved across the neutral zone. That's the call. Offsides, Oakland. Now 5:35 showing on the clock. Cowboys with 3 timeouts remaining. It'll be first down and 5.
All the time in the world. Stabler usually only needs 1:36 with no timeouts.
Howard, you know how many guys won the Heisman Trophy?
5. As a junior.
That's it. That's the last one I'm going to ask you. These are real UNIVAC, folks.
First and 5. Call back. Again, under great pressure, not so much the pressure as it was he could not find a receiver that was open. Horace Jones finally rushed Staubach into giving us some kind of a delivery to avoid the loss.
Frank, Tony Klein does a good job on rushing this time. Of course, he knows, that they're going to have to throw the ball, so he's going to take a little outside rush. That's what he does. Number 84, Tony Klein. Staubach steps up in the middle of the pocket, which you have to do if you're a good quarterback. There's got the pressure in the middle, and he still gets the ball off. Not very good, but he still got the ball off.
Well, Horace Jones finally got to him.
Second down and 5. We're in the 4th quarter from Oakland, California. Dallas with an 8-5 record against Oakland 11-2 record. The Raiders leading Dallas 27-23. Bill Houston in motion. And the rookie from Jackson State takes the screen. Gets a couple of yards, no more. It'll be third down and 4 as Gerald Irons moves over there to make a stop.
Well, I just can't believe that the season's almost over for us. You know that? I know you guys are going to be, just keep going. You guys are really busy. I'm going to take 2 weeks off, and I'm going to take another 2 weeks off, and I'm going to take another 2 weeks off.
Yeah. Meanwhile, LaMonica had his first smile in months.
Just like when you were playing, Alex. I couldn't resist it.
I know.
Third down and 3.
You won't have Mongo to kick around anymore, Frank, this year.
Staubach to the air on the third down. Billy Joe Dupree holds on the 40-yard line. First down, Dallas. 16-yard pickup. And Billy Joe Dupree is having a night.
He is. And John Madden's beginning to have second thoughts now about having perhaps been too cavalier in his approach to the game. I refer particularly to the giveaway touchdown when Larry Lawrence was in on the damaged knee at quarterback and threw the interception that Jordan all but carried in for a score. Subsequently, Dennison took the ball in. There's John Madden.
Ball is at the 39 as Billy Joe Dupree catches his 4th pass of the night for 70 yards, his 29th of the season. Bill Houston in motion. Charlie Young turns the corner. Gerald Irons holds on, but Young gets about a 9-yard pickup. Very close to another Dallas first down. This young rookie, a second number 1 draft pick last year, is big, he's strong, he's 6'1", he's 210. And another Cowboy is shaken up. That's Ralph Neely, the 10-year veteran from Oklahoma. And a good friend.
It's Ralph Neely, isn't it? 73?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, University of Iowa.
Oklahoma.
Ralph Neely?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Ralph Neely.
Signed a couple of contracts, you remember?
Yeah, he was one of the early ones involved in litigation during the old pro football war, AFL, NFL.
We'll be back in just a moment. Three minutes and 20 seconds. Second down in a yard. The Dallas Cowboys moving again and threatening. Roger Staubach looking for Houston over the middle. He has to underthrow it as Dan Connors had good position, number 55. Clock stops at 3:08. Staubach, a little over 53% this year, 11 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Had a big week last week against Cleveland. 3 touchdown passes. Really, the Cowboys, it's hard to explain this season. They lost 4 of their first 5 and then won 7 of their last 8. All right, now an important third down for Dallas. Less than a yard. Ball inside the 30. Dennison gets the first down, hurdling for the first down down to the 27-yard line.
Clock is no problem at all here with Dallas now inside the Oakland 30 with 2:55 left, counting down. 2-minute break to come. No problem at all. A long view of the gridiron.
This program being brought to you a special exclusive of AB Species. All year.
What a way to go out.
Well, our local stations at least know to get ready. On 1st and 10. Again, the play action fake by Staubach, but this time Tony Klein nails Staubach all the way down to the 38-yard line. First time Staubach has been sacked tonight.
Yeah, and you saw Tony Klein a little earlier in this program do the same thing. He does the same thing this time. This time he goes to the outside. Now there's a twist going on there. Now he goes to the inside, breaks loose, knocks Staubach down, along with a couple other fellas.
A social note, these guys wear mustaches on the Raiders like the A's in baseball.
Yeah.
It's the mark of an Oakland team.
Second down and 20. Clock moving towards the 2-minute warning. And Cowboys should have tried to get that play off. And they could have used the 2-minute warning for another timeout. They have 3 remaining. And we'll be back in Oakland right after this message.
We showed Klein earlier. Here's Art Toms with that little trio, that little dance that they were doing. He's coming to the outside and putting a good pass rush on. They do that once in a while. They'll twist inside and outside, up and down. They're sneaky.
And that has put the Cowboys in a second down and 20 situation. They have 2 minutes to work with. They have 3 timeouts remaining. They are on the 38-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. They trail 27-23. Staubach slips, goes down, tries to get it off, and almost gets the completion. Tom Landry looking on. He has a young team. First time out of the playoffs in 9 years.
It's incredible. When we started Monday Night Football 5 years ago, Landry was wearing a $39 raincoat, and that's all he ever had on. Now he's become sartorially resplendent, Alex.
Especially on Monday night games.
On Saturday nights.
Yeah. John stays the same, doesn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't change. Now he can be out there in shirt sleeves in this weather.
He's getting the Abe Gibran Award this year.
Third down and 20. Cowboys will go, of course, on 4th down. They need it now, and Bullock drilled to Bill Houston behind him. He could not hold on. And that brings up the 4th down. Let me try one more. This program is being brought to you as a special exclusive of ABC Sports. Right now, let's pause 5 seconds and allow our local stations to identify themselves. Okay, 1:50 remaining in the football game from Oakland. The Raiders out in front of the Dallas Cowboys, 27-23. It's 4th down. 4th down and 20.
There he is. Oh, we don't know how much that pension is worth yet, George. Haven't gotten the figures.
You know, he's kicked 322 career field goals, 235 touchdown passes. But right now, the moment of truth, at least for this game, is on Roger Staubach on 4th down. He's tough to run. He needs 20. He tries to get it. He'll be short. About a yard and a half short is Roger Staubach. And another Raider is down.
Yeah, and Staubach is slow getting up.
Horace Jones, the Raiders' fine defensive end, is down. Now he's up. Made a good effort against Roger Staubach, and the Raiders will take over. They have 1:36 to kill.
I tell you, with 1:36 left of our regular season, I suppose it's time, Alex and Frank, to express our thanks to the fellas in the truck who've been so great all year long. Our producer, Don Ohlmeyer, our diminutive director, Chet Forty.
He's pretty tall.
How about Roone Arledge?
Well, I don't know. Has he committed a jacket to you?
He told me he's going to get me one, so that's the reason I said Roone Arledge.
We will thank our executive producer, Roone Arledge, the president of ABC Sports.
On 1st and 10, LaMonica. Hands off, the Raiders working against time. Give the ball to Banaszak. And Dallas will take timeout. He didn't say he was going to give you a ABC jacket. It could be a Goodyear blimp jacket or a straight jacket.
With Nick Nicolari as the navigator.
Nick Nicolari.
Got a lot of people working with us this evening. Our technical director has been Bill Morris, our associate director Dick Buffington, our assistant to the producer John Coulter, our engineering supervisor Dick Horan. Our unit manager is Marshall Lopez.
And another
How about Rick Lasavita?
That's right. He's done some job for us all year long, and he deserves the highest kind of plug. And stats, of course, Terry O'Neill, a recent graduate of the Pulitzer Graduate School of Journalism at Columbia.
And how about the Greek? How about the Greek, Frank? Are you going to give it to me?
Steve Bozika.
That's the boy, Frank.
Snowed in Canton, Ohio.
Canton, Ohio.
2nd down and 8. Raiders running the clock out, looking for their 12-2 season.
You know, we gotta get a camera on.
Dallas kills it again.
Yeah.
You know, we do have to get a camera on Marvin Gaye. Not on him so much as his son. He dresses better than I do, Frank. Can we get a camera on him?
In just a moment, because those are the camera people who do the work for ABC Sports. Technically, still unchallengeable in the industry.
Can you believe it? How old is he, Marvin? How old is he, Marvin? Marvin, how old is he? 9 years old. Can you believe that?
Well,
the guy dresses good.
Jack Hughes and the audio people just got their credits. There's our senior video and video people.
3rd down and 6 for Oakland. The Dallas Cowboys down to 1 timeout. They stop it once more. They'll have no more timeouts remaining, but they will get the football.
They can make
1:21 remaining in the game.
They can make that last 10 minutes. That, to me, is one of the weaknesses.
All right, Dallas looking to make it a 9-5 season. Out comes Ray Guy.
In this case, Dallas, of course, still could win the game. So there's justification.
Dennis Morgan dropping deep.
Dennis Morgan. That was
no, that's not him, Alex.
Don't you go crazy, Alex, when a team trailing by 14 with less than 2 minutes left starts calling timeouts?
Yeah, that's for sure. Dennis Morgan, didn't he sing? Wasn't he in
Dennis Morgan
Desert Song? Desert Song. That's the song.
Dennis Morgan was a motion picture star in the 30s.
A singer.
A crooner.
Oh, there's a a place beneath the sun for all. That was the song he sang.
Dennis Morgan, the 30-yard line, and decides to let it go, and probably a good move. But that is really going to hurt the Cowboys. A fair catch certainly was in order. 59-yard punt. So the Cowboys, with no timeouts, will begin from their 14-yard line. A lot of our fine people being recognized tonight as we recognize them throughout the year. The best of what they do. Of course, recognition for about 1,300 pro football players that travel around the country to watch play this year. They provided us with some thrilling games. Okay, 1st and 10. Staubach will have to be concerned with out-of-bound plays, killing the clock. When and if he can get the completion.
Well, all year long, Frank, you and I have been interviewing people. Let's wind it up with Alex Karras interviewing Marvin Gaye.
Well, I just wanted everyone to see Marvin Gaye's son. What's the son's name?
His name is Marvin, Alex.
Okay, all right. I know it.
What a roasting you took, Howard. Jesus Christ. Frank, you're a great guy. Real gentleman.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Good
nice
to see you, Marvin.
2nd down and 10. Clock shows 1:03. And in and out of the hands of Charlie Young. His third pass tonight has been behind him. Roger not having the best of nights. Great athlete, really has been throughout the years. Heisman Award winner, of course, as a junior at Naval Academy.
Oh, my hair. I must get my hair fixed.
3rd down, 59 seconds. Clock stopped.
Well, it began with the Oakland Raiders. It began with that incredible last-second upset of the Raiders, 21-20 by the Buffalo Bills. Ferguson's pass to Ahmad Rashad doing it. And then there was the upset. As you look at another forlorn play, there was the upset of the Dallas Cowboys by the Philadelphia Eagles, 13-10. That was the beginning of the 5th year of Monday Night Football this year. Sprinkled throughout a number of surprises, an utterly superb 28-24 Minnesota victory over the St. Louis Cardinals. We got to see Otis Armstrong at his very best against the Kansas City Chiefs, even though the Chiefs upset Denver that night. We saw last week the Washington Redskins win a game that clinched a playoff berth for them and caused Los Angeles to begin to worry all over again by the playoffs. It's been, in other words, a season like all of the other seasons, with a lot of excitement and with a lot of disappointments for teams and a lot of happiness for other teams.
1st down, Bob Hayes. He has to get out of bounds to kill the clock. And he does not get out of bounds. Clock continues to move. The Cowboys hustling up to the line of scrimmage. You can believe the Raiders will take their time. If they take too much time, the referee will stop the clock himself. He's indicating, come on.
Motioning.
Clock's still moving. He can stop it. Down to 25 seconds. Staubach, of course, having called 2 plays in the huddle. This time kills the clock with 14 seconds remaining.
No, the clock.
They caught the ball. They moved pass complete to Houston in front of the Raider bench. We could not see him dive and catch it.
He made a mistake.
He'll never be able to get another one off. Just running out. Bill Houston with a diving catch. Tom Landry moving over to congratulate head coach John Madden. Once again, the final score, the Oakland Raiders 27, the Dallas Cowboys 23. This is Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Alex Karras saying so long from the Oakland